wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. You're
fucking go, baby! Let's fucking go! Tell me who could be. Tell me. Let's go! I guess I'm in your veins. Do you feel me strange?
I'm tripping, I'm tripping. I'm tripping, I'm tripping, I'm tripping.
Let's go! I'm tripping, I'm tripping, I'm tripping. I'm tripping, I'm tripping, I'm tripping. I've been here a while, but I won't unpack. I give you my all, but I want it back. Maybe I'm crazy, but I see it in you, you and me. It's in the way, yeah. Tell me who could be what once eluded me. Who could be what once eluded me? You like this? Dude, this was my band in 1998, 97, something like that. Trace them in your veins. Do you feel me strange? Do you see the way? Could be anything. Do you see the way? Could be anything. Let's go! Yeah, nobody has a politics intro like this. Dude, nobody does intro like we do intro. Dude, JD Vance wasn't fucking carrying Kirk's casket. He was like touching it, bro. He was like jerking the casket. Paint away day and night, sit-hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. After you, I'm afraid of feeling some too soon. Cling to what you're given. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Dude, how we doing? Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. MAGA, yeah. Fuck you, Trumpy! Ooh, fuck MAGA, yeah. Let's go!
okay. You're alright.
Goodbye then if you dare.
Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing
Is what I say, I feel far away.
Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink.
Yeah.
Nothing
Is what I say, I feel far away. Nothing is what I think, I will drown in pink. Nothing is what I say, I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. Nothing is what I think. Yeah. 'Cause I will drown in pink. Woo! Let's go. Oh, let's go, baby. Best intro in fucking politics. Let's go. Dude, so first off, fuck Twitch, okay? Dude, fuck Twitch. Bro, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you after my discussion with Dan Clancy, the current CEO of Twitch is a red pillar, okay? And so if you believe in freedom of speech at all, you need to like get off Twitch because he's a red pill fucking piece of trash, okay? And the only reason, like, if you're big like Hassan, you'll get away with it because they'll kiss Hassan's ass because they don't want him to take all those people somewhere else. But dude, he's not @𝗏𝗡𝗏. He is a red pillar. He will protect anti-LGBTQ people. He will protect toxic, misogynist people. He is not a good guy, man. They are going to be up Trump's ass, dude. Like, I'm serious. I fucking had a discussion with him about like politics. And he said, oh, the political advertising was coming back in 2 weeks. It's still not back, right? There's still no advertising on political streams. They are fucking degenerates, bro. They are, dude. It is like they are degenerates, man. You know, and after they banned me for some bullshit, like, fuck them, bro. Fuck them, dude. Same shit happening to TikTok. Well, guys, it could get worse because you may have not noticed, but so Larry Ellison, the fucking Oracle guy, right? They just bought Paramount. They were involved in that Paramount deal, right? I believe with the fucking Sky whatever, but now they're trying to buy CNN too, okay? They are trying to buy, like Larry Ellison is trying to buy all the major mainstream news networks. Dude, I think he's going to buy them all and he's going to like make them like Fox. Right? They are, dude. I think it's part of the Republican shit, dude. The Republican fucking religious oligarchy that they're trying to pull. Well, I mean, maybe we're fucked, maybe we're not. I mean, people are fucking dropping in droves from mainstream media and younger people are watching online. So we'll see, right? Isn't that against monopoly laws? Yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't. Right? We need to win the House and we need to fucking win in 2028 and we need to break this shit up. Like, we need to win big. We need to elect a president who is ruthless and who will wield power like a fucking hammer. Okay? Not a nice guy, right? We need to elect somebody who will smash corporate America right in the fucking teeth, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I know. Yeah, and it's not even so much about left or right. I think it's about them wanting to be able to disseminate like one message. Okay? They want one message. Like they did with who was it? Sinclair. Remember Sinclair? Remember that video where it showed like 50 news channels all reading the same message? Like, that's what they want to do. Now, I got to say, dude, after we look at Trump today, this motherfucker is stroked out. one foot in the grave, dude. He is so fucked up. Trump is. And so last night's video, I know you guys were talking about like AI. Some of you in chat were saying last night's video is AI. We got to look at last night's video because I think maybe you were right that it actually was AI, right? I think maybe it was, or it was like AI enhanced because dude, he looks like shit. I think, did you see Emma Vigeland? Dude, did you see Emma Vigeland? Can I just show you? She had the fucking tweet, dude. She won the internet today, dude. Dude, let's go. Hold on. I got some special shit planned for you guys tonight. We're going to look at some special shit. But first, look at what Emma did, dude. Wait, where is it? She said, dude, look at her. I love her. Sometimes she just knocks it out of the park. She just said, where is it? She said, right here. She said, looking good. Dude, looking good. Oh, that is so priceless, dude. So fucking priceless, because it's true, dude. Look at him. Look at his droopy ass face. This Epstein rapey degenerate. Look at him, dude. He is so stroked out. Dude, I mean, we know he has been having strokes, but he is fucking... Dude, he ain't gonna make it, guys. Look at this shit.
Hilda E. Taylor.
Dude.
Lieutenant Colonel Kip P. Taylor, United States Army.
Dude, look at him, bro.
Leonard E. Taylor.
Disrespectful. Fell asleep at 9/11.
Sandra C. Taylor.
Dude.
Sandra D. Teague. Hilda E. Taylor.
Look at him. Bro. Dude.
Lieutenant Colonel Kip.
Fucking like unfucking real, bro. Look at him though, dude. I mean, it's so obvious. Like, here's the photo. Like, dude, it's so obvious. I mean, we know they've been hiding it. We know he's having strokes. Okay? But look at his face. His whole face is drooping. He is fucking brutal. Just, dude, he looks like he is, bro. This is his whole fucking personality. Has Jake Tapper done a story yet? No. No, Jake Tapper's not going to do a story about this because Jake Tapper's going to fucking sniff, Donald Trump's ass crack. Okay? Because Jake Tapper is a disingenuous fucking blowhard. Okay? He is. He's an opportunist. Yeah, no, look at his mouth and his face. It's like sunken in. Dude, this is not edited. This is just a straight up photo from fucking Getty Images. Okay? Dude, you can see him, dude. Let's pull him up. Hold on. Right? Getty Images, baby. From Trump, right? Trump 9/11. This is today. That is Getty Images, right? You can see him. His whole face is downward. That's from today, boss. He is fucking jacked, bro. He's jacked. He is jacked up, dude. He's had multiple strokes. Look at this. Holy shit, bro. Look at that, dude. You see it? You see it? Dude, he is just fucking devastated, right? I mean, I don't know how many strokes he's had. Now, he's obviously, we know he's not running the country. We know he hasn't been running the country, right? We know he is just a cuckold at this point. And he is definitely like one step away from Pine Box. But dude, he just looks like he's lost. You know what I mean? Dude, he looks like he is lost. Dude, what's your favorite band? The Strokes. Dude, I love them. They're one of my favorite bands. Dude, isn't it ironic that his modeling agency buddy, John Casablancas' son, is in a band called The Strokes? Oh, just desserts for this rapey motherfucker, right? Dude, let's go, baby. Oh, shit. Dude, him and John Casablancas are going to get the band back together, boss. Dude, let's go. Oh, shit. Hold on. I think that's a tweet, dude. You ready? Because it's Fashion Week, guys. Let's go, dude. Dude. Let's go. Dude, I think that's a fucking solid tweet, bro. Oh, shit. Dude, let's go. Dude, yeah, no, it's iconic, really, in a way, dude. It is iconic. But Emma said, looking good. And then look at what happened, dude. Somebody got mad at her, right? And somebody got mad and said, where is it? Somebody said, this guy, Bob Kazamakis or whatever, all glory to Christ, said, you're an evil human being. You're an evil human being. And she's like, I can't compliment my present on how handsome he looked today. Dude, Bob is triggered, bro. Oh, fuck, dude. Like, wow. Dude, my president. Oh, shit. Now, I mean, seriously, though, guys, in all seriousness, we got to worry about this shit. Because this means that JD Vance is one step closer to that sectional in the Oval Office. If he gets in there and he gets up on that sectional, bro, we might never see JD Vance again, bro. They'll be carrying him out on a stretcher. Dude, oh, shit. Dude, you ready? Hold on. Wait, where is it? We got to find the Vance video. Dude, I think you need to get a woman who looks at you the way JD Vance looks at Charlie Kirk's casket. Honestly, that's what I think, right? You got to find a woman that fucking... Right? You got to find a woman that looks at you the way JD Vance looks at Charlie Kirk's casket, boss. This is the honest to God truth. Dude, I love how there was like a tweet that said Vance carried Charlie Kirk's casket. And it's like, dude, all those cadets are like holding the thing and Vance is just like got his hand on it. He's just rubbing the wood. Oh, dude, let's fucking go, bro. Dude, here it is. You ready? Let's watch. Hold on. We're going to watch the fucking casket. I'm going to turn the music off, though, so we can add some good fucking circus music to this at the end. And the circus music is for JD Vance. I want to be clear. I'm not playing circus music for, you know, Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'm not making light of his death. I'm not going to say Charlie Kirk was a good guy, because he's not. He was a toxic stain on humanity. But I don't wish toxic stains on humanity get shot to death in front of people, you know, a collective trauma. But we are going to look at some of Charlie Kirk's shit, because they're trying to like whitewash and sane wash this guy in the press. And I think we need to make a video that shows the real degeneracy that was Charlie Kirk. You'll notice, look at this. It's RT up here in the corner, of course. But yeah, let's watch this. Dude, it's not even straight, bro. Dude, what are these guys doing? Yeah, they're trying to make him out to be a hero, but Charlie Kirk is not a hero. Okay? He's not. He was incredibly toxic. Incredibly toxic. And we should not be celebrating the man. Yeah, I mean, they are like, there's a lot of janky shit going on where they're trying to elevate him to martyr status. You know what I'm saying? And you know, as we're gonna look at, yeah, there's JD Vance's big play of the game, dude. He got called in to fucking squirt water in people's mouth. But so one of the things I want to look at is I want to look at this. First off, we got to acknowledge what Charlie Kirk's real role was, okay? Because Charlie Kirk, okay, Charlie Kirk was a paid groomer. Okay, that's what Charlie Kirk was. He is a paid fucking groomer. Okay, he was a person who had established himself as having some repartee on college campuses, particularly with like fraternity guys. And so what they did was they paid handsomely for Charlie Kirk to go on college campuses and to try to turn young people against transgender and gay students and human beings, okay? And against women and against black women and against people of color. That was Charlie Kirk's role, to stir and foment racial discord, sexual and gender discord, and to poison young minds and to convince them that the LGBTQ people are harmful. And why? Because of this. So the state legislatures could pass 600 anti-LGBTQ bills that are in these state legislatures. Not all of them are passed, okay? But this is the role of TPUSA. TPUSA is a grooming organization designed to use religion and people like Charlie Kirk, okay, fucking indoctrinating groomers that get in there and they try to poison young minds, okay? And they attack them as best they can, so then the legislatures can pass all this nasty anti-LGBTQ shit and get away with it because the young people allow it. They don't show up and fight against it because normally young people fight against this shit, okay? But when the young people are taken out of the equation through people like Charlie Kirk, then they're able to pass this. Because again, this is the only thing that American legislators on the right wing are concerned about. They have like gay fear, trans fear. It is just their religious sexual obsession is their entire thing. They don't pass gun laws. They don't pass laws for the cost of living. They don't pass healthcare. They don't fund education. They don't fund infrastructure. They don't do anything of value but give money to the richest people around and then pass anti-gay shit. That's it. That's their whole fucking game. And Charlie Kirk was hired and funded to do this job. This is all he did. Everything else about him was just a fucking smokescreen. That was his only fucking job, man. Okay? And it's disgusting. It's a disgusting job. Okay? And I mean, I'm not going to elevate this guy. This guy didn't play good politics. He was a fucking groomer right up there with Jeffrey Epstein. He was just different. He didn't take advantage of him sexually. He took advantage of him like integrity-wise. He took advantage of these kids and poisoned them with fear and animosity, okay? That was his role. And it's gross, right? It is gross. He was a vile human being, okay? And again, I don't wish political violence on anyone, but I'm not going to pretend like this guy was a good human being. And I'm not going to pretend like him no longer being in the picture is going to be bad for humanity. Because I think there's a part of humanity that's going to heal, right? In his absence, maybe. I don't know. It depends on who tries to slide into that role, right? But dude, this shit is crazy, though, because now we're like, who killed him? Okay? That's like the age-old question. Who killed him? Okay? And like, I am not a conspiracy theorist by any means of, you know what I'm saying? I try to stay away from that shit. But dude, I think that, like, I don't know, man. I think Israel may have had something to do with it, guys. I really do. And part of it is Netanyahu's behavior, okay? If you look at Anonymous, okay, if we look at Anonymous, okay, like Anonymous has been outing some of this shit about Charlie Kirk and about the problems he's been having with like anti-Semitism and with the calling for the Epstein files. Like, Charlie Kirk has had a very complicated relationship with Israel and the U.S. relationship with Israel, okay? Like here is a picture here that I think is really powerful. But you got Donald Trump here on the switch, and it's like you have this thing that's going to drive over the Epstein network in Israel or Charlie Kirk. And what do? And it looks like Donald Trump pulled that switch and just sent it over Charlie Kirk because it is a possibility of fomenting the rage and anger in his base, okay? Stirring up, division in the people, maybe giving him an opportunity to instill some fascism and preventing, like Charlie Kirk was told by the White House to stand down on Epstein. He got a phone call, okay? And yeah, no, Mocktail, you're right. You're right. It's his complicated relationship with his fan base. You're right, because he became, Charlie's fan base was like the frat boys, and he was always dancing around relationship with people. Right? I mean, I feel like he had a split fan base. He had some of his people that were Christians that were very pro-Israel. And then he had some of his fan base that are like totally anti-Semites and they're like neo-Nazis. And he was like constantly trying to dance on that fence of like, ooh, I can't stray too far from the Christians, but I also like don't want to lose the far right. Right. And I mean, it felt like he had been sliding more towards the far right lately. I don't know. I'm not a Charlie Kirk expert. If you guys have good information on this, maybe feed me some. But the end result of why I was starting to feel like maybe Israel is involved in this, because first off, we know that Netanyahu, okay, we know that Netanyahu and we know that Donald Trump are like a glove, two hands in one glove, okay? You know what I mean? Because Charles Kushner, Jared's dad, is friends with Netanyahu. Now, the thing that really hit me, guys, was Netanyahu's behavior. Okay? That's the thing that fucking has hit me through this. Okay? So Sue, Charlie was very pro-Israel, but Charlie wanted the Epstein files to come out. And there is some connection with the Epstein files to Trump and to Ehud Barak, right? The former PM of Israel, maybe Benjamin Netanyahu. There is a connection between the prime ministership of Israel, Jeffrey Epstein, fucking Peter Thiel, and Donald Trump. I don't know what that connection is, but there is a very real fucking connection there. And Charlie was still about like talking about the Epstein files. And he got a call from Trump, from the White House, saying you need to like zip it with the Epstein files. And he kept talking about it. He kept talking about it. And I've been seeing shit on the internet, you know what I'm saying, of like other people that knew him saying he was concerned about somebody striking at him. But what it really is, guys, what really hit me was this, okay, was Netanyahu's reaction, okay? Because look at this. So Benjamin Netanyahu has gone in and fucking made multiple tweets about Charlie Kirk, who is not a politician. He is not a political figure. Charlie Kirk was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization, more than a friend of Israel, great champion of our shared roots and values. May his memory be a blessing. Okay. Then he also said, thank you, President Trump, about Trump's little AI speech. Okay. Dude, Grandma, let's go. And no, I have live chat showing, Grandma. That is live chat. It says right up there. All right. Then, right, look at this other one, though. Charlie Kirk was murdered for speaking truth and defending freedom, a lion-hearted friend of Israel. He fought the lies and stood tall, right? I spoke to him only 2 weeks ago, invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit won't take place. And then he's got a whole praying for Charlie Kirk. Now, here's the problem, guys. The problem is this. The problem is that Benjamin Netanyahu has never tweeted about Charlie Kirk. Ever. He's never tweeted about him. He's never been in the replies of him. He has never been involved in like hailing Charlie Kirk publicly. He's never been a part of that at all. I couldn't find any evidence of Benjamin Netanyahu ever saying anything about Charlie Kirk. And then as soon as Charlie Kirk is dead, Netanyahu is just like talking him up. How what a friend of Israel he is. Now, that's weird because that's the kind of behavior you would engage in if you had something to do with him being offed, okay? To all of a sudden just be like, you know, preaching it up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, this is just very, very strange behavior, man. Okay? It's very, very strange. And now I don't like Netanyahu. Okay? I have never liked him. I didn't like his connection with Donald Trump. I was pretty certain that Netanyahu and Trump were in cahoots while Biden was president, trying to sabotage Biden's presidency in any way that they could so they could exacerbate that rift in the Democratic Party. And you know what I mean? And I mean, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole lead up of the attack on Israel and all this other shit was kind of crafted to try and sink the Democratic Party in 2024 so Trump could get back in office. You know what I'm saying? And Biden was just too old to do anything about it, and the people around him were not fucking paying attention. You know what I mean? He did. He played along because he's an old school Catholic fucking bullshit artist. But dude, something is very wrong with this. Now, I don't know if this is involved, but if you look at it, on July 14th, 2025, Trump called MAGA influencers, including Charlie Kirk, saying, you need to back off, okay? You need to back off the Epstein coverage, okay? You know what I'm saying? And then that same day, Kirk, remember what he said? He said, I'm done talking about Epstein. I'm leaving it up to the people in government. They know what they're doing. I trust them, right? And then the very next day, he flipped, saying, I want the files released. And he spent an hour on his show. And then 2 months later, he is dead, okay? And I can't help but think there's fucking a connection. You know what I'm saying? I can't help but thinking that there is some type of connection. Something about this feels like an inside job. It just feels weird, okay? It just feels weird. There's something about it. You ever get that feeling where you get that feeling in your stomach, and you get that feeling where your sense of like incongruity, like cognitive dissonance is like going off? And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Israel involvement. I don't know if it's Trump involvement. I will say this, guys. You ready? And follow me on this. I will say this, that you got to realize, okay, that right now, the people running America are the Heritage Foundation. Stephen Miller, Russell Vought, Kevin Roberts, right? Chris Rufo, right? These Heritage Foundation people are running America. They are devout, crazy evangelicals. The one thing that evangelicals believe in more than anything, guys, is sacrificing the son for the greater good of the cause. It is literally written into their religion to sacrifice your favorite son. You don't just sacrifice a son in evangelical Christianity. You sacrifice your favorite son, okay? And I really feel like there's an element of that here, that they decided to sacrifice their favorite son on the altar of an evangelical takeover of the United States government. Their fight against Islam, they took their golden child and fucking sacrificed it. By they, I'm talking about the Heritage Foundation, the evangelicals and the evangelical billionaires that are running this country, that are paying for this country. I'm telling you guys, it feels right. You know what I'm saying? It feels like something they would do, okay? It feels like something that they would absolutely fucking do, you know? And they would have no qualms by it. And I mean, they'll play up the death and all this shit, but like these people, like these deep evangelicals, like sacrifice is like, they don't have an issue with it. They believe, you know, I mean, for them, it is the same as those guys who flew planes into buildings. You know, it's like that same impulse of that they're doing a painful work for their God, for their deity. And so there's something about this that just feels like, man, is that what we're up against? Because I am noticing, guys, that the religion, the amount of like everybody in American government right now that are just talking about God, that are like, everything is about God, everything is God, everything is God. They are no longer governing us for us. Okay? These people are exclusively living out their actions and the things they're doing based on their fucking relationship with that fucking invisible God. All of them are. They're right. You see them. You see Katie Britt. I mean, Trump isn't. Trump is a degenerate who's just fucking, you know, doing what he does. But again, he's not running the country. Okay? I'm talking about, you know, the fucking, you know, Mike Johnson taking orders from Stephen Miller, taking orders from Russell Vought, from Kevin Roberts, from Larry Ellison, you know what I mean? The Cook brothers, you know, I mean, it is fucked up. It's psycho. It is psychotic. And so, yeah, man, this is kind of like what we're up against. You know, it's turning the frogs gay. Dude, you know? But yeah, man, like I have said this for a while, guys, that we are not in a battle between left and right. We are in a battle between evangelicals and everybody who's not them. Okay? This has been our battle. And it ties in with the LGBTQ bills. It ties in with the anti-trans stuff. It ties in with them not passing gun laws to create havoc in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? It ties into their foreign policy, their Islamophobia, their anti-abortion obsessions, their sex and gender obsessions, calling people demons and fucking, right? I mean, this is crazy shit, you know, and I don't want to go off on a conspiracy fucking, you know, loop, because I don't think it's this crazy network of conspiracies. What I think it is I don't think these people are sitting in a room being like, how can we bring about the rapture? I think what it is there are a bunch of mental people that have a goal of sowing so much chaos that they create the rapture, and they believe by fealty to Israel and disrupting the Middle East and taking control of the U.S. government and fucking, right? They're like preparing for this thing that they're chasing, but they're doing it just in their daily actions. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's a meeting like Eyes Wide Shut where they're fucking in a circle, you know, smoking a cigar and shit. It's just the thing that is motivating them is this non-earthly mental illness that they're carrying, you know? And man, it's fucking, I don't know, dude. It is crazy. It is crazy. It's starting to feel crazy though. I mean, we see things like these weird prayer circles, right? Everything is a moment of prayer. They're putting the Bible in schools. They've gutted the Department of Education exclusively so they can put the Bible in schools, and there's no agency to like prevent it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? There's like, you know, the whole thing is just it's all like biblical, you know? It's all biblical. Like they think they're in some kind of a fucking holy war, dude. I mean, don't you guys feel that? Don't you feel, I know it's not funny. It's not funny, you know what I'm saying? But don't you guys feel, I mean, I'm bringing comedy to it because I have to, because we got to survive this shit and fight this shit. But don't you notice how everybody in the GOP now is like, they are God first. Every time they speak, they're talking about Christianity and God and Hegseth. Everything is about God, God, God. It is like crazy now. They never open their mouth without fucking saying like God. And it used to not be that way. Like there used to be some type of God overtone, but now it is like all they talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's all they talk about. Everything they do is about God. And dude, God doesn't even exist, man. You know what I mean? The whole thing is like some crazy fantasy, right? Dude, you know, it's fucking fucked up, bro. I mean, when I was a kid, man, I used to watch the politicians speak, and they used to say like, God bless America at the end of the speech or whatever, but they didn't literally sit there and say, I'm passing this law to obey God, right? We've created this whole agency to put God back into our lives. Like, America is becoming a godly nation. Like, right? They didn't do that shit when I was a kid. They said their speech, they talked about society and the country, and then at the end, they were like, may God bless America or whatever, right? Or maybe they said a little bit at the intro, but they weren't literally sitting there touting this new program that was blessed by God and designed to instill God back into every moment of our day. They weren't like, you know, having a Bible open and being like, you're a sinner. Oh, we're going to fucking pound sand up your ass because you have sinned, you know? But yeah, dude, brought to you by the Department of War. Oh, man. Yeah, no, well put. Dude, what Nathan said there. There were undertones of God, but now it is overtones of God. Absolutely. And I really think, dude, you know what I'm saying? I really think that they put Charlie Kirk on the sacrifice table, on the sacrificial altar for their cause, okay? Because they were fucking, you know, they're losing. They're losing, okay? Their immigration, dude, let's go, Sand. Appreciate you. Their immigration thing, dude, a hardcore. Let's go, dude. Sand with the big fucking, let's go, dude. That deserves a Trumpy, right? They were losing on their immigration. Their Gestapo fucking raids were losing. They pivoted to like crime, but it was still kind of losing. They're doing it in DC, but they can't really go to every major city in America. They don't have the resources. It would waste all the money they need to continue their charade, right? The economy is shitty. The tariffs are unpopular. Epstein is everywhere. They're like, fuck, man, this, right? They can't really go to war. Everybody thought they were going to start a war with Venezuela, but they could sacrifice their favorite son and start a different kind of war, okay? Start a war that, like, their people will start the war for them. And then if their people if the people get agitated and get out of line, then now they can bring in the troops, right? Now they can bring in the troops, and they take Charlie out of the equation, like, because he was not listening to them. He really wanted to look into that Epstein thing. Dude, let's go, Dab. Let's go, baby. Dude. Now, you know, and guys, I don't even think it's a conspiracy at this point. I think it feels logical. You know, it feels logical to me that this is like an op. You know, dance party goal? All right, yeah, let's do one. Let's go. 10 light blue or more super chats, $2 or more. We get 10, we do a dance party. But it's not stickers, by the way, guys. It's just the super chats. We'll do it for 1 hour. Start it up. Start me up. But yeah, man. So, I mean, yeah, dude, they know that they're losing. They're changing maps. They're sacrificing people. Now, I looked into this thing. Let's take a minute to look at this killer evading. Okay, because, you know, I think we should look on YouTube. I have something special for you guys. In a little bit, we are going to look at a woman here named, let me find her. Hold on. Stacy Patton. There she is. All right, we are going to look at Stacy Patton, guys, on Facebook, okay, because she is a black woman who was on Charlie Kirk's hit list. I did not know this, but TPUSA had a hit list, okay, of people that they tried to ruin their career. They tried to bully them into submission, tried to silence them. Dude, this is crazy. We're going to look at her reporting on Charlie Kirk because she fucking has done some really good reporting on Charlie Kirk and on her experience on being on his professor watch list, okay? Because you know how Charlie Kirk was anti-higher education. trying to encourage women to not go to college. Why? Because women are getting educated. They're ceasing to be fucking, thank you, Sand, let's go. They're ceasing to be sheep, right? And I mean, you know what they want, right? You know that they want women to not go to college. They want to get rid of birth control so men can knock women up and keep them trapped as like child rearing. Okay, that's why they want to get rid of abortion. They say it's about killing babies and all that, and maybe they even talk themselves into it, but ultimately they want what the power they used to have back, which all they had to do was get a girl pregnant and they owned her for life. They could just keep her pregnant. If she has no birth control, she can't stop it. Okay? And that was their methodology. They grab a woman, they get her drunk, they have sex with her, they get her pregnant, and once she's pregnant, she's owned, right? It's gross. And then she has to make the best of it for the kids. And society used to tell women that you can't leave when you have a kid, right? It used to ostracize them. If a woman had a kid out of wedlock, they would send her to a home for incorrigible women. There's one of those. There's a building in Portland that used to be a home for incorrigible women. And that's what incorrigible women were. They were women that like weren't getting married, that had kids out of wedlock. Dude, BB, let's go. Right? Dude, this shit is gnarly. But anyway, we're going to look at Stacy Patton because she has some really really good information, because we are going to focus on the nasty side of Charlie Kirk. Okay? I need to put that out there on the internet because everyone's trying to glaze him, and he was a vile human being. Okay? Again, I would never celebrate his death. I'm not wishing for him to be dead, but I am going to point out the fact that he was a vile fucking human being. Okay? Absolutely. And we are going to continue making videos about how vile he was. We are not going to let them fucking sane wash and fucking, wipe the fascist, misogynist, transphobic, grooming fucking damage that he did off of him. He is going to maintain the stench, in his passing that he had while he was living. Okay? Dude, James, let's go. Women are the givers of life. If there was a God, it would be a woman. Absolutely. 100%. I mean, they are the only ones that can incubate a life. We're just raw material, guys. Yeah, no gaslighting. Dude, because you know what happens, right? If you get online and you say anything about Charlie Kirk, you'll get 100 people in your thing saying, you never listened to him. You never listened to him. Oh, it just proves you never listened to him. He never said anything negative, anything mean. And dude, his rhetoric was so violent, like that shit about the left slitting the throat of America. Who says that shit? It's bullshit, and it's violent, and it's nasty and dehumanizing. It's fucking disgusting, okay? And it's not true. And him like saying that woke people and Marxists are the enemy, and nobody even knows, none of these kids that he's grooming and fucking indoctrinating, none of them even know what those terms mean. Okay, a Marxist is anybody who doesn't like capitalism, and a woke person is anybody who's not one of them. Okay, and that's the shit that they use as they're your enemy. Your enemy, it's a spiritual war, he would say. It's a religious war. They're trying to take your religion. They're going to fucking destroy you. Right? Dude, let's go. Ida with the knock. Love it. We love to see it. You know what I'm saying? And dude, it was so gnarly. Okay? And guys, can I just take you there? You ready? Hold on one sec. I thing I always do about the woke is this. You ready? There's a thing I always do about the woke. Bethany Mandel, baby. All right? This is an old school thing. Bethany Mandel woke. You ready? Watch this. This is a special treat for you guys. For people
when we talk about
who haven't watched. Here, let me find one that's a little bit longer. All right, I guess that one will do. You ready? So watch this. Okay, this is amazing, guys. You may have seen this, but I play this every time we talk about woke because it's just so epic. It's so beautiful. This is Bethany Mandel on woke. Oh my God, dude. Dude, Twitter sucks, bro. All right, you ready? There we go. Watch this.
Of Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, you know, when we talk about traditional,
what does that mean to you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. Sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah,
Of Americans,
dude, it's hard to explain in fucking a 2-minute soundbite. Yeah, that's what we thought, you dumb fuckers. You don't even know what woke is. Woke is anything to them that's not them, okay? And guys, they like this term, okay? They like these terms, okay? Like woke is anything that's not them that they don't like, that they're fighting against. The same way that now what they're doing, Anna Paulina Luna and these government freaks are now doing it with Antifa. They're trying to say, ooh, Charlie Kirk was killed by radical leftists, and now we're going to declare Antifa a terrorist organization. But there is no Antifa. It doesn't exist. But they can call anything they want. You're dressed all in black, you're Antifa. You're protesting in Portland, you're Antifa. You Kia Tesla, you're Antifa. Oh, you celebrated with a pride flag, Antifa, you're a terrorist, right? That's what they want to do, to have one word that they can just literally fucking, you know what I'm saying? That they can literally apply anywhere, okay? That's what they do, okay? They get that single fucking word, all right? And they want to do it, though, now with Antifa. And this shit is dangerous, guys. This shit is dangerous, right? It is, dude. You know what I'm saying? Dude, right? I mean, look what they did with transgender issues. They never once talk about transgender issues. Their buzzword is men and women's sports. That's all they say. You'll never hear them say trans rights or transgender issues. They only say men and women's sports. If you say, wow, transgender people should be able to use the bathroom, they're like, you believe in men and women's sports. And I mean, dude, there was a clip where we watched one of their fucking like congressional reps being interviewed, and he started to say trans, and he stopped and said men and women's sports. He like corrected himself and said, you know, we're having some disagreement about about men and women's sports. We don't want men and women's sports. That's what they do. It's like always the fucking buzzword. And Bethany is, no, I don't know what she is, right? I don't think it's important what she is. But anyway, so yeah, that fucking clip, I love that clip. I love that clip. That clip is so real. Now, let's take a little bit of a look at this shooter, okay? Let's take a little bit of a look at this shooter, because this shooter has like evaded the shit out of them, okay? Can I just tell you, like, I mean, first off, we know that 𝗙ście Patel is like the Keystone Cops, okay? 𝗙ście Patel is literally like the Keystone Cops at this point. Dude, he is, you know, the FBI is running around. I mean, how many times right? How many times did they fucking, he was tweeting, we got the guy, we got a subject, we got a suspect. Oh, we don't have the guy. Oh, we had to release him. Dude, 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪 is like, maybe you should actually like get some real fucking evidence before you start tweeting. You dumb fuck. How long is his press conference? Get me a link, okay? Give me a link. But let me see here. I want to see there was one video I wanted to watch that I felt like had some fucking, where was it? That had some information about the fucking suspect. Dude, I've seen people sharing fakes. People have been like accusing transgender people. Like, this is what happens with 4chan. Every time there's a shooter, right? Every time there's a shooter, they like try to out some transgender person. It's so hideous, man. People are gonna get fucking, they're gonna get people killed, man. Was it on MSNBC? I had a thing. Oh, I like her.
And it is day 2.
All right. All right. Dude, what do we have here? FBI offering $100,000. They're giving a huge reward. All right. Dude, let's just watch a little fucking clip. And then we can talk about this. Look at some of the video. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Okay? Dude, yeah, no, like 4chan, what they do is as soon as a shooting happens, they try to find a trans person that looks like them. And then they start making shit up, saying this person did this and this person did that. And then they start fucking doxing them. Dude, it's so terrible, man. Dude, it's so gross, dude. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗪𝗀? Dude, the entire right wing in America. Yeah, no, I saw the Sky. I saw the Sky one. I'm not going to say the name because I feel like we should leave them alone, but I saw the Sky person that they were blaming the Sky person and like saying that there was a song that had been deleted so you couldn't find the song. You know, it's like, dude, so bad. But yeah, put a link to the press conference, okay? Put a link to the press conference in Discord. Discord is down in the description. Dude, I have never fucking been on 4chan, or I don't even know what it is. It's like a message board. I stay away from all that dark web shit, right? Yeah, sorry to the person who said, oh, but it sure has been a lot of trans shooters. Bye. Smell ya. It actually has not, right? There's not been a lot of trans shooter. There's like 2,000 not trans, and there's like 4 trans, and you're gone. Never to be heard from again because you're full of shit. Later! Let's go! Oh, I love it! I love it when fucking people fucking do that shit. I'm sorry. Dude, you guys say this bullshit, transphobic shit in my chat, you're gone. Okay? You're gone, dude. I don't fucking care, man. That's just the way it goes, dude. Sorry. Yeah. Dude, I don't like that shit. Because it's bullshit. It's not true, man. It's not true. There have been like 4 out of like 2,000. It's like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Give me a fucking break, dude. Degenerate web? All right. Well, for me, dude, that shit is dark web to me, dude. Dark web, degenerate web, it's all the same. All right. Let's go.
Activist Charlie Kirk continues. In the last hour, the FBI released it is day 235 of the second Trump administration. This evening, the manhunt for the gunman who murdered right-wing activist Charlie Kirk continues. In the last hour, the FBI released brand new images of a suspect, and officials gave a step-by-step walkthrough of additional security footage. Watch this.
He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for.
Dude, it's crazy how there are like cameras everywhere, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking astonishing that there are just cameras everywhere. The surveillance, yeah, the killer, even the way the killer dropped right there. You know, the thing I noticed about what the killer did there that like tells me that it's a pro versus a not pro, okay, is that they didn't drop the bag, okay? A non-pro, they had the bag in their hand with that fucking rifle, and a non-pro would have dropped the bag to make sure they could do that drop. And this person held the fucking bag, man. You know what I'm saying? This person held the bag. That's like a special ops type of situation where they weren't going to take a chance that somebody grabbed that bag, right? It's like having the briefcase handcuffed to your hand. They were not going to let that bag, which is the most important cargo, out of their hand at any cost. And like, that's training, guys. That is the kind of shit that normal, like whatever disgruntled people don't do. They're like, oh my God, I'm dropping off this fucking wall. I need to get the bag down. I need to focus. You know what I'm saying? Did they not account for cameras? I think they knew that there were cameras. I don't think they're worried about it, right? Like, they have a palm print, but if you never find the person, that palm print isn't useful, okay? If they don't have that palm print on file and you get away, they have a palm print, so what? Good for you. If you don't have a match for that palm print, you don't have shit. You know, you only have a way to identify them if you find them, you know? And you know what I'm saying?
In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right.
Dude, he's walking too.
After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that fire.
Dude, that's crazy.
This is the video evidence.
When you see him come running across
that
the roof.
We utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area.
The FBI is now offering a reward of up to $100,000 for any tips surrounding the shooter. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said that the Bureau has already received the most digital media tips since the Boston bombing.
We cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well, what we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. More than anything, we are going to catch this person.
I want to bring in NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson. He joins us now on the phone. Steve, you have been in Utah. We all just saw that news conference. What more can you tell us about where we are in the investigation and what's happening in the surrounding area in Utah? Is the community out and about? Are they on lockdown? What's actually happening there?
Yeah, let's start with the investigation, Stephanie.
So first off, this person's not in that community anymore. Now, yeah, 𝗙ście𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗹, dude, he is so out of his league. He is, dude. He is so out of his league. And yeah, man, see, this is the thing, though, that has bothered me, right, about this, is you may have noticed, like, there has been a solid wall of every right-wing person in America saying this is a political killing. They are after us. They did it. They're already weaponizing this shit, and they don't even know who the killer is, which is another reason that I believe it's an inside job, because their behavior, right, is they're doing the same shit they did about Trump's assassination, right? Trump's assassination with the ear, where we never saw a medical report. We never saw the ear, right? We find out the killer was a Republican, and then they just shut up about it, right? Same shit, man. It's the same bullshit where they're all selling us. Oh, thank you, boss. Let's go. They're all fucking spitting like one fucking message. Dude, let's go. Thank you, foolery. Appreciate you, dude. We need, I guess, 2 more. Then we're dancing. But yeah, man, something is fucking going on, dude. Something. Thank you, boss. Something is fucking going on. It is so sus. Dude, Ida, let's go. That's 9. 1 away, baby.
I mean, obviously, as you can tell, the FBI, Utah Public Safety Department, still reaching out heavily to the public for any support, any tips, any video, any audio, anything that they can use to try to, what I would suppose is ID this person of interest, who now has appeared in much more high-resolution video that they're showing, and they showed that at this press conference. Also to note, you saw that suspected shooter, the person of interest, I should say, climb down from that roof. That is where he left those handprints, those footprints that were taken as impressions that they are processing as well, on top of all the tips that you mentioned, over 7,000, which is quite a substantial amount. And
see, I guess that's one thing I'm a little surprised by, is I'm a little surprised that the person didn't put some gloves on the walk over to that building and jump off with gloves and then immediately take the gloves off as soon as they had landed. I would have thought that would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying? This is the presser. All right.
And then they said in that wooded area right to the right where you see that roof is where they believe they recovered that bolt-action high-powered rifle. So, I mean, that's the tangible evidence that they're working with, but they really have been hammering any additional information, specifically video, specifically audio or images, that can be used as part of the investigation. And then, of course, IDing the suspect, certainly something that they want to do quicker rather than...
See, here's another thing about this, and I don't know if we have the video, but another thing about this is you notice how this person keeps their head down the whole time, right? Which is another thing that seems like a trained professional, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole time they have their face down, like they know how to walk through a fucking space that is filled with cameras, and you're not going to get a face shot. That's a fucking pro, man. That is a fucking pro. That dude, Jeremiah, let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh, we hit it. All right, we're going to be dancing in a minute. Yeah, not touching the handrails. Like, there are a lot of little minute details, okay? A lot of minute details that seem to add up here to somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. And yeah, it's an eagle and a flag on the shirt.
Later. Not certain on the perimeter of the search. They said they are obviously sending material out to forensics across the country, and they have people that are also part of the investigation across the country. So it is a widespread investigation, and they are learning more. We are learning more details really since the day started as it progressed. As far as campus, I mean, campus is shut down, and a large part of campus is cordoned off, specifically anywhere near, obviously, where that shooting took place. Investigators combing through there, going in and out all day, obviously public safety members of different stripes.
See, it's interesting because they're like, we saw some people that had like they saw a body like here, right? Remember the video? But now they're saying the shot was fired from over here, which is, I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly it. I mean, we saw the person kind of run this way and then run behind that glass. And then they went over there and dropped off that corner, I guess. But, there is video of a person laying down here, right? Yeah, I was thinking, right? I was thinking the person, like their skin tone and their features, from what I saw, the little bit of their face, I was thinking it looked like someone that had some type of Asian, lineage, right? I was thinking that too, right? Or some Pan-Asian sort of like ethnicity in there, You know what I'm saying? 200 doesn't mean trained for sure, not easy. Yeah, but so what the thing about this, yeah, Eurasian. So the thing about this, guys, the thing about like a 200-yard shot is a 200-yard shot you think is like, okay, a 200-yard shot could be hit by people that are not pros. However, okay, a 200-yard shot, one shot fired, perfect hit, is very challenging on something the size of a fucking neck. You're not shooting at a deer, guys. You're shooting at something that is like 10 inches by 10 inches. Okay? One shot. Only one. It is like, your average hunter taking this shot to hit that neck may have to fire 5 bullets. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like literally. I mean, I fucking used to hang out with people who were hunters, and they're shooting at a deer, man. A deer is like 5 feet long by like 2 feet wide. Dude, it's like 10 square feet. This is literally less than 1 square foot of space. You know what I mean? I mean, and dude, I know the guys what I can't get out of my head, guys, what I can't get out of my head is that guy in the black behind him, okay? So there's the guy in the black who looks at the guy in the white. The guy in the white touches his hat, the guy holding the phone. The guy in the black looks at the guy in the white, looks to the left, steps forward, and does his little arm thing. And then the minute he finishes that movement, the fucking shot rings out, bro. Like the second he does it. It is like haunting, dude. Something about that just felt like, like he stepped forward to do it, bro. It was really weird. He looked to the left. He stepped forward. He did a little hand motion. And the minute he finished that hand motion, the bullet rang out, man. You know what I'm saying? It was like, again, it may be nothing, but what was weird about it is I don't buy into this type of shit. Okay? I am so suspicious of this shit. And I watch it and I think, dude, there's no fucking way, right? But when I watched it, it just made me like, it was just weird. It just made a little, like a little fucking weird twinge in my stomach where I'm like, why am I feeling this weird twinge? Because I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I I do believe that this was a setup, that somebody set up Charlie Kirk here, okay? That this was a planned setup kill by somebody that was, you know, on Charlie's side, or he thought was on his side, okay? You know what I mean? I mean, dude, you know, and now again though, like, we don't know if that was real or not. It's just a little fucking, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way, man. Let me see if I can find a full video. All right. So you got to see the wide angle shot. You got to see the one that shows the guy in black stepping forward. That's the thing. The like skinny vertical shot doesn't show it. Oh, here's one. Okay, so let's look at this, okay? So this one is one. So he touches his hat and he looks, then he looks the other way, then he steps forward and does his little hand motion, and immediately after that, that shot fucking rings out. That's weird, guys. He touches the hat, he looks down, he looks the other way, he steps forward, and he wipes his arm, and the minute he wipes that arm, the fucking bullet, the trigger gets pulled, bro. That's just fucking weird, right? It's weird. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing, but it's fucking weird. Okay? You know what I'm saying? It's fucking weird. It is what it is. It's maybe a weird fucking, you know, a weird fucking coincidence or whatever. Those two guys are not college age. Yeah, but those two guys, I think, were like the guy in black, I think, was part of his security team. Okay. But now, guys, when you think about it, okay, when you think about it, if there's a guy in a scope is like, has a very different view of that scene than we do. If you're looking through a scope, you're seeing like Charlie, you have some crosshairs, and you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what the person pulling that trigger was seeing, right? And like, you know, I don't know, man. It was just weird. It's weird. I've never seen anything like that, you know, that like was so like quirky, where I was like, why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing that? Why does that look weird? Why does that, you know, it just seems weird, right? And fucking, yeah, it's just strange. But again, there's a lot unexplainable here. So, like, of course, we're like looking for patterns. We're trying to make sense of this. You know, I know we're trying to make sense of this because it is a senseless fucking crime. But anyway, let's watch the rest of this, and then we're going to do our dance party.
Pretty much all day long. We have met with community members. People have been coming back. Students have been coming back. I met with one not too long ago who was telling me just about this sort of state of shock, this stasis that this community is in, not experiencing this level of gun violence, specifically an assassination on campus at the corner of so many different communities in this area. I think people are sort of processing and will continue to do so until this is wrapped up. Steph?
Steve,
you know what's wild about this is so my girlfriend does transcribing for work. She works from home, so she remotely like hears classes at high schools or universities around the country for deaf students, and then she transcribes what the teacher is saying. She had a class at UVU, dude. She had a class. She has a class at UVU. I mean, it got canceled today because they shut it down, but she had a class that day, right? Shortly before, a couple hours before all of this shit went down. Dude, she has a class this whole quarter or semester or whatever they're on at fucking UVU. It's like a fucking religious studies class because there's so much religion fucking, pumped into this shit, into these kids. It's a big part of their, the Utah schools. Yeah. And so it's pretty wild, dude. Isn't that crazy? That's fucking crazy, dude.
Can you talk about what we learned about the rifle and the distance that the gunman was firing from?
Yeah, so originally we had heard maybe it was a few hundred yards. I think 200 yards was the original length. That is now sort of shortened down to about 175 yards. That vantage point, obviously above the amphitheater. If you've been in there, it will seat a few thousand people, estimated crowd size of about 3,000 or so. The rifle, bolt action, high powered, can obviously do some damage from a distance. Obviously I can't speak to the ballistics or the trajectory. One thing that was interesting to note is that in a press release earlier today, they said there were some specific markings on either the rifle or the ammunition, but police were working to confirm more information about that. They left that as a thread saying that obviously this didn't come from official police channels.
Yeah, you like that? You like that bullshit too? That something that it wasn't even the cops. They released some information that said it had transgender ideology on it, which is fucking bullshit, right? And then immediately the people in charge said this shit didn't happen. This is unconfirmed, but they released that, right? Of course they did. Because guys, they're like, so much of the Trump administration is about like finding a way to imprison transgender people. You know what I mean? They're after transgender people. They want to fucking, right? They do. They want to fucking imprison them. They want to put them away like forever. They're so freaked out by them. It's shitty, dude.
But it was one of the things that was part of the investigation that they were looking into. Besides that, we just know the location in which they found it, and that is a key part of the investigation in the timeline. Steph?
Steve, you are out in the field. You have been working 14, 15 hours today covering a very difficult story, and we appreciate you staying up for us tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I want to bring in our leadoff panel now. Peter Baker is here, Chief White House Correspondent.
All right, so do we have more footage? We keep seeing the same fucking 3 photos, same building drop, right? There is some other footage that I do want to watch where it is that there was like the ring camera where he walked by with a limp, right?
The manhunt continues for the person who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk. We should tell you we're expecting an update from officials at 9:30 Eastern time. We're going to bring that to you live as soon as it happens.
And they've got obviously they don't know where this person is, even within hundreds of miles. So he made very clear, like he could be close, he could be far away. So that's something worth noting. Told about seeing them, see there with the hopes and with his deputy Dan Bongino, with the hopes of being in the middle of this investigation
that you're looking at. It's highlights, right? You take a look at those photos.
Yeah, see, this sweatshirt. This shit is crazy. With him using his arm on the railing there instead of his hand. You see him with his fucking hands closed too when he's walking, which is to make sure he doesn't accidentally leave a fucking palm print, which is why, like, him not wearing gloves from the shooting location to the jump off the building feels a little weird for me, right? I would have thought they would have put the fucking, it was supposed to be a fake assassination. You think, dude, I don't know. That seems like it's getting a little fucking wild. Where's the weapon? I don't know. I've heard conflicting reports that they have the weapon or don't have the weapon. They're not sure. But let's find that ring camera. And then we're going to move on, Right? We're going to move on to bigger, better things. All right, so what we're going to see here is we're going to see two things. We're going to see this person that they say, yo, 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 did we have a little cutout? Did stream freeze up for a second there? I think stream may have froze up for a second there. But, so what we got here, yeah, it did, huh? Okay, so what we have here is we have this fucking, they're saying this is the person, and they're walking with a limp, like presumably they had a gun in their pants, and they were walking with a limp to carry the gun there or something. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that is. But then you're going to see later the person like running in the background on another camera, like behind a building or walking across, and then they come running out and shit. Look at the timestamp of what? Of timestamp, what timestamp? Of this? Of the camera?
Images now of that suspect. They're walking.
I can't see the timestamp.
And if you can see, the person is walking.
They have a 𝗙 over the timestamp. Yeah, I can't see it. It's down on the bottom.
With a limp there, and it is believed to be because that person has a rifle in the pants.
It looks like it says 9/10/2025, 9/10, right? September 10th. That was yesterday, or that was the day of the shooting. And then it says 11:47 a.m., right? And when did he get shot? What time was Charlie Kirk shot? He was shot around 12:23. So this is about, 12:23. So this is about 30, right? Yeah, and so why are we looking at the timestamp? What is your concern about that? Because you kept saying, look at the timestamp, look at the timestamp. I'm curious what your thing. It doesn't add up. I mean, 20, like 23, 30, 36 minutes travel time.
And they are walking very difficult because of that object that is inside of the pants. Take a look here of that limp.
Yeah, they're
right
claiming
there.
this is.
You can see there the suspect continuing to walk the street there.
They're saying this is
to where
before
the venue was, and then this is after where we see now that suspect.
Do we know where that location was? Right? Yeah, I mean, dude, it's possible that like all this shit is off.
Clearly running.
I mean, we don't even know that these people are the people that they say, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, here's the thing though, right? Is the thing that is wild about this is, wait a second. So is that what you're saying? You were saying that they were saying the limp was after they got off the building? Yeah, I didn't hear that. I thought the limp was before the shooting, right? That's the limp that they were implying that he had the gun in his pants and was faking a limp. But here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing is like, he wasn't walking with a limp going up those stairs, was he? He didn't look like he was limping going up those fucking stairs. Let's see, let's fucking... Yeah, all right, so here's what it says. It says... Captured doorbell footage shows Charlie Kirk suspect limping towards UVU before the shooting, believed to be carrying concealed weapon later. And then they're fucking, oh my God, they're fucking doxing that transgender person. What the fuck was that? You see that? That's the thing that comes up on that search result. It's not even a real news fucking result, bro. What are we doing, dude? That is some bullshit, bro. I'm serious, man. There's literally a war of these motherfuckers, dude. All right, let me fucking pull this up here. And, dude, it's like a setup. Dude, you don't see it on Google. Microsoft Edge, that's what it pulled up. All right. Let me see, dude. The fuck, bro? Dude, why are the mainstream medias not covering that fucking part? Right? Like, I'm finding the New York Post, I'm finding the Times of India talking about that Ring camera, but none of the mainstream media is talking about it. Right? That makes me feel weird, like why they aren't covering it. There's not one mainstream media event covering it. It's Times of India, New York Post, Al Jazeera is the only one. Everything is Times of India and New York Post. And that fucking scallywag bullshit. I mean, dude, this is weird, right? Look at this shit. So I looked up TMZ, okay? TMZ limping suspect is what I searched on Google. Okay? On Google, TMZ limping suspect. And what do we see? We have Al Jazeera from 13 minutes ago. Then we have Times of India, New York Post, Times of India, New York Post, TMZ, that scallywag one, and then a 𝗣𝗢𝗞. That's weird, right? That's weird, guys. That's literally strange that information, that video was released fucking 12 hours ago, and there's not a single major news network in America that has fucking, right? There's not a single major news network in America that is covering this shit. That's fucking strange, bro. Dude, that's very fucking strange. So manhunt continues. Dude. Found a legit cover up. See, I don't know what we found, guys. It's hard to tell what we found. Right? Dude, Times of India is not trustworthy. And you guys know this, right? And neither is The Economist of whatever, you know, that one that's not the actual Economist. but there's The Economist, something or other, Times of India, and CNN 18. There's a couple like India stations that are like, dude, they're like web trawler AI fucking sites. They pass nothing but misinformation. There's one of them is a video channel called CNN 18. You may have seen it. That is absolutely like fucking scoundrelly. Right? They're all fucking disinformation shit. Okay? So, and even here, all right, let's see what we got here. So the FBI, let's look at this article here about the FBI backtrack. All right. Now, obviously, day one was a disaster. They grabbed that old guy. They're walking him around. Dude, with the old guy, did you see with the fucking old guy? Like, dude, why didn't they pull up his pants? That was so strange that they're walking around with that old guy with his pants around his ankles and nobody stopped to pull up his fucking pants. That was fucking weird, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, A, why were they down? And B, why did they leave him down? This is a major fucking suspect to walk. Very fucking weird, dude. Everything about this. And then Kash Patel is fucking live tweeting the fact that he's incompetent and a fucking Trump suck-up. Right? Kash Patel announced they had released a man. Right? Oh. And then 2 hours later, he's like, we got another subject taken into custody. And then they released that guy. Fucking idiots, bro. Jesus. And I mean, again, why is he live tweeting this shit? Like, dude, your job ain't to tweet. Like, go actually fucking do some work first. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get him out of there for his safety. Yeah, but that's bullshit. Because if you're trying to get him out of there for his safety, pull his pants up so you can walk him out of there at a decent speed. He was walking at like a third of the speed because his pants were down. If you're trying to get him out of there, him fishing around and fucking swishing his fucking pants around his ankle is the stupidest thing to do, right? That's even dumber. That's how you know they're fucking full of shit. Because, like, if they literally wanted to get him out of there fast, you pull up his fucking pants and you whisk him out. Takes 2 fucking seconds, bro. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Dude, this whole thing is clownery. It's all bullshit. So here's what we got. We got the shooter. Now, see, it's weird because the video we watched said he shot over here. This is saying he shot over here, which is where we did see him. Okay. And Charlie Kirk is like there and it's almost direct. The other one had him over here, right on the TV show, which is incorrect. We saw the body right on that fucking corner of that building, right? Right on the edge of that building. Okay. And then the shooter was there. Then he walked this way. He walked around here. He jumped off. And then supposedly this is the wooded area where he left the gun. That feels weird. I don't know, like, why would this person escape and leave the gun right next to the scene? Something about that is pretty strange, right? You know what I mean? Like, something about that would be fucking bizarre. Bizarre, but you notice in a lot of these pictures, they crop out that guy, the hand signal guy. This is the one with the shooter running. It says possible shooter. We know it's him. Nobody else was running on the roof. This is the video we saw of him running across. He goes behind the glass, jumps down. We saw all that. But again, they don't have that ring from TMZ, right? A ring camera. Okay, so let's see this here. Campus was closed, right? Bloody, bloody, blah. 2 hours after he was shot, he died. Dude, I saw that horrific video. I knew Charlie Kirk was dead, man. I just knew it. I was like, man, there's no way he lives through this. You know what I'm saying? There's just no way. Dude. So then Thursday, 7 a.m. Here's what it is. All right, now we're getting into this. So they had a news conference. Officials said they recovered the weapon believed to have been used in the shooting, which they described as a high-powered bolt-action rifle. It's found in a nearby wooded area. Robert Bowles, the FBI agent in charge, the FBI agent in charge, Robert Bowles, said the agency was analyzing a palm imprint, a forearm imprint, and a footwear impression. Okay, officials said they were not immediately releasing more information about the gunman, but were working toward identifying him. He appears to be of college age. Okay, around 10 a.m., the FBI shared those images of a person. Let's see what we got, if they have all the images here. All right, so this is the image of him going up the stairs. Again, it's not very clear, right? Dude. Dude, people on Twitter are just funny, bro. Jesus. Oh, God. All right. But they had the link. There's a later version of the post. So they corrected it. Trying to fucking identify this person. People are trying to sell shit. Blah, blah, blah. There's some fake transgender shit there in it. Okay, so then it says they shared those images. Okay, and a surveillance video. Images showed the individual in a dark long sleeve shirt wearing a baseball cap, dark sunglasses. Never really shows his face. Walking up a stairwell. That provided us with no real new information. But again, what's really weird about this is how there's no coverage of that TMZ ring video, right? But if you go on Twitter, it's on here, okay? And supposedly, right here, this is the one I saw. It says purportedly showing Charlie Kirk's assassin. And there's a ring footage before the shooting, 11:49. So this is 34 minutes, right? And we don't know where this is, but supposedly this is him walking with the limp before the shooting with the backpack, right? It's got the dark hat. I mean, we can watch it. Here, we'll watch it. Now, I don't know what the limp is, right? Yeah, like, what is that? Right? And then after the shooting, they got him running in the back there, and then you're going to see him come, like, running. And it looks like there's a clothing change. It looks like the person comes out and they have like shorts on. Right? You're going to see him here. You're going to come running out in a minute. And it looks like they have shorts on. Here it comes. Here we go. Here it comes. You're going to see him bomb out of here. But now he doesn't have pants on. Here he comes. He's now wearing shorts. See him? There he is. He's in shorts. It looks like. I don't know. Or maybe not. I thought it looked like he had shorts on and white shoes. But he came bombing out of there like a jogger or something, right? Quick change artist? Maybe. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't even know, right? We don't even know. We don't even know if that's the fucking person, right? The first one obviously looks like the person, right? Because it looks like the graphic on the tee and the hat and the same backpack. The first one, guy walking across, looks like it could be, but that other one is so far out of there, it's just a blur, right? It's a black blip moving. You have no fucking idea who that is, if that's him. You know what I'm saying? You have no fucking idea. Yeah, now, is there a picture of the gun? Is purportedly? So this is it? So this is the gun that they're saying shot it? And like I saw this photo, but now they're saying he disassembled the gun, right? He went with it assembled in his pants, okay? He had it in his pants and his shirt, and he was hobbling there real quick. He's got 30 minutes to shooting, and he's limping to the campus. He gets on the roof, up those stairs, gets on the roof with this thing. He didn't look like he was limping, had it in his pants on those stairwell. He got up on the roof with this motherfucking gun. He shot. He ran off, disassembled the gun, ran off. It was not a long gun when he jumped off the building. It was like in a bag. So he disassembled it, jumped off, went in the woods and reassembled it and left it assembled in the woods. Nah, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck are we fucking talking about here? Right? And this is supposedly the gun? Dude, this shit is so fishy. Right? He shot it, he disassembled it, put it in his backpack, ran off. Now, for my question here is, if he could disassemble it in his backpack, why didn't he assemble it when he got on the roof? Right? Like, that's weird. You would go through, you're going to climb up with the gun in your pants? I don't believe it. Dude, well, first off, I don't believe anything the Trump administration tells us. Okay? Trump and fucking, Kash Patel, they're bullshitters. None of these guys are telling the truth. Okay? Their job numbers, their inflation numbers, everything they say is a fucking lie. Everything Trump has ever said is a fucking lie. And you're never going to convince me otherwise. We have like 30,000 lies. Dude, the New York Times tracked it for years, bro. Like, I don't believe a goddamn word that these fuckers are telling us ever. You know? But we do have to point out, though, okay, Mehdi Hasan did us a service, because we have heard Trump talk about left-wing violence, radical left violence, left-wing violence, radical left violence, right? That's been their refrain. Left wings, radical left, left wings. Oh, reassembly means you need a field calibration fires. Okay, no. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Bouchard. That makes sense. You need it assembled before the shot. and then you can disassemble it. That makes absolute sense. Okay? Now, let me show you what 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗧 did here, because he did us a service where, I think I got to look in his replies. Was it a reply? There, I fucking reposted it. But he did us a nice little solid, 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗧 did, where he fucking posted this. Okay? Because their refrain has been left-wing violence, radical left violence, this, that, or the other. But here are the actual facts for those with short memories. The man who targeted and killed Democratic state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark in Minnesota in June, and who shot at the fucking other lawmaker, remember? The other guy and his wife, and their daughter like called the fucking 911 for them or whatever, remember? Trump supporter. Okay? The man charged with the attempted assassination of Josh Shapiro by trying to burn down his house. Democratic governor, Trump supporter. The man convicted of orchestrating a series of shootings, the home of 4 Democratic elected officials in New Mexico in 2022. Trump supporter. Okay, the man who tried to kidnap Nancy Pelosi's husband, Nancy Pelosi, after hammering her husband Paul in 2022, was a Trump supporter. Okay, again, this was also part of their whatever gay conspiracy theory and the butt of a bunch of jokes by those fucking degenerates. The men who wanted to hang Mike Pence on J6, Trump supporters. You're starting to notice a little pattern here, guys? I don't know if you're noticing. Okay, the man who killed the son of the Obama-appointed district judge Esther Salas in 2020, Trump supporter. The men who were convicted of trying to kidnap the big Gretchen Whitmer, Trump supporters in 2020. The man who sent pipe bombs to Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton and other Democrats in 2018 while Trump was president was, drumroll please, Trump supporter. Okay? What's a gay conspiracy theory? Yeah, no, what they did was after that guy like took a hammer to Paul Pelosi, they tried to say that he was like Paul Pelosi's gay lover or some shit. They were spreading this rumor, right? That, it wasn't even an attack on him. They're saying it's an attack because Paul Pelosi was with his gay lover, right? They did the same shit they always do. Some fucking bullshit. The man who killed left-wing activist Heather Heyer, okay, in Charlottesville on the Unite the Right was a Trump supporter. Look at all those Trump supporters. Now, again, guys, here's the frustrating thing about these motherfuckers is because they lie about this shit. When you show them it's a Trump supporter, they say it's a false flag. They start saying it was FBI. I mean, dude, it's all the same shit. They're always Trump supporters. The guy who shot at Donald Trump in July, Trump supporter. Okay? And fucking, I think the person here who shot Charlie Kirk, I don't know if he was a Trump supporter, but I think he was working for Trump. And I think he was working for Benjamin Netanyahu. And I think that's why Benjamin Netanyahu is all of a sudden Charlie Kirk's biggest public fan and talking about what a friend of Israel he is, because that way no one's going to think that, Netanyahu and Charles Kushner and Donald Trump had something to do with the sacrifice of their favorite son. It's like they gave a biblical sacrifice of Charlie Kirk for the cause. And now they're all fucking going to give millions of dollars to his wife, and they're going to wipe their hands of it like Pontius Pilate, and off they go, boss. Right? Dude. Yeah, this is crazy. But the thing about this, guys, is Charlie Kirk he's not a good human. And dude, we already talked about that shit. I'm not spending any more time on the fucking hand signal shit. I talked about it for a minute or two, which is what it was worthy. But we have better things to talk about, which is what a negative creep Charlie Kirk was. Okay? Yeah, no, it's in the video, though. You can go back, boss. You'll find it. It's in there. We talked about it tonight. All right? It's in there. We covered it good, I think. And, I mean, I feel you, dude. I'm fucking curious. I didn't talk about the plane. I mean, I looked up the plane, guys. I looked up the plane and found the couple that, like, ran this foundation about sexual abuse and shit. And so I know people are talking about that plane, but I don't know how connected they are or what have you. But I did look up the number today, right? I looked it up. It was like N something 8888 or whatever. And I looked up the plane and it was registered to a couple, okay, that have a charitable foundation that helps people recover from sexual abuse, right? And so I didn't really look too much into that beyond that. But if you have a link about it, I'm kind of waiting for some of this shit to get some more coverage, right? It was the fucking, you know, it was this. I'll show you. I'll show you. I looked at it earlier. Watch. Let me fucking, I have my fucking, I'm going into my history right now. I looked at it this afternoon because someone was making a big deal of how you track this plane. And they're like, I can't find information about the plane, but it took me like 2 fucking seconds to find information about the plane, right? It was right here, okay? I did a Google search with the plane's number, right? Of N, right? Of the plane's N number, which was 888 kg, and I immediately found an address, 401 North Thanksgiving Way, right? And then I looked up that address, and when I looked up that address, it was registered to that couple. It was registered to this couple right here that were Derek and Shalane Maxfield Family Foundation in Lehi, Utah. Their address, 4101 North Thanksgiving Way, Suite 420, right? Yeah. And so, right? And so, but I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know who they are. I don't know, like there's so much shit going on on the information. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much shit going on, like misinformation. Like, I don't know what their connection is. And I don't know how accurate it is when they say like the transponder turned off. Okay. It's Derek and Shalane Maxfield. Yeah. And I looked them up, but I didn't find anything about them that like rang alarm bells off of it. And I could probably look more, but my main issue with the plane thing, guys, was that the people were saying this plane did this illegal thing where the transponder shut off or whatever. And like, but I didn't see any verified information that happened. And that's what I'm noticing with a lot of the misinformation is they make these claims like, oh, this plane, it's not just that a plane took off. It's that a plane took off. It's Maxfield, yes. It's that a plane took off and shut off its transponder and went off radar, and then they came back on, and like, but there was no backup to that claim, right? That was like in a tweet. And like the tweet is like, I'm not really believing a lot that I see on Twitter, because 75% of the Twitter is just bot. You know, it's fucking some bot farm in Malaysia, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know, but we'll see. We'll see down the road, right? Right now, though, I want to talk about Charlie Kirk because we have to talk about this woman, Stacy Patton, okay? And let me fucking show you Stacy Patton, okay? This is her. She's a black woman who's a teacher, okay? And she shared something here that I think is really important, guys, all right, that we have to look into, okay? We're bringing it to the center of our fucking thing here, okay? But you ready? Okay. She says, hi. She says, I am on Charlie Kirk's hit list. Now, guys, what I was not aware of until today is that there was a professor watch list as part of Charlie Kirk's little deal of trying to encourage people to not go to college, and part of his indoctrinating and anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ grooming that he did on college campuses. TPUSA and Charlie Kirk, we'll dance right after this, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you for that reminder. They had a fucking professor watch list, guys. They had a hit list where they identified dangerous professors, dangerous faculty members, and then they tried to harass them and subdue them and get them to go silent. And this shit is crazy, okay? It's fucking crazy, guys. They're a terrorist group, okay? TPUSA is a terrorist group. Charlie Kirk was a domestic terrorist, all right? He was. There's no other way around it. PragerU, domestic terrorists. Absolutely, man. The Proud Boys, domestic terrorists. Okay, she says, I am on Charlie Kirk's hit list. His so-called professor watch list, run under the umbrella of Turning Point USA, is nothing more than a digital hit list for academics who dare to speak truth to power. I landed there in 2024 after writing commentary that inflamed the MAGA faithful. And once my name went up, the harassment machine roared to life. For weeks, my inbox and voicemail were deluged. Mostly white men spat venom through the phone, bitch, cunt, N-word. They threatened all manner of violence. They overwhelmed the university's PR lines and the president's office with calls demanding that I be fired. Now, this is really important, guys, because this is the kind of shit that they fucking, the right wing does this shit. The cancel culture, the calling to get fired, the trying to disrupt, okay? They call the university, they tie up the phone lines, they create such havoc that eventually the university will just fire the person, take the action to stop the harassment, okay? That's what they do. It's like mass harassment where they try to silence you through volume and through overwhelm. It's the same shit they always do. It's always their technique. Dude, they did this to me as a woke gamer, man, after the Andrew Tate thing. My God, guys. For like 3 months, there were like 35 million views a month just attacking me on TikTok. And I was deluged, guys. The hate mail, the death threats from every angle, every social media. It was like, fuck, bro. After I went against Andrew Tate, it was gnarly, dude. It was gnarly, bro. It was, I mean, dude, like, I'm a pretty tough person that is pretty capable of like tuning out the noise. I was a fucking championship athlete, like dialing in focus as a swimmer, as a competitor, being able to tune that shit out, and being an actor, being a meditator. But like, guys, I was under fire, man, for several months. I was under fire, and I was like, felt a lot of pressure. And I mean, I had to get on fucking stream every day and show no sign of this going on. Like, my acting skills were like high gear. But dude, it was gnarly, dude. It was gnarly. And then Andrew Tate got deplatformed, and then the attention shifted away from me. Okay, luckily, I believe he got deplatformed because of some of that negativity, man. The comments, aside from the shit I was getting, the comments that were all over like TikTok at that point, when you would see them like showing me and Tate with the pink hair and you would get in the comments and like the hate in there was gnarly, bro. Like a lot of that shit I just didn't even go in and look at, but I ventured in there some days and it was like, holy shit. Dude, this shit is yeah, sewer is a great word for it. But I didn't have a boss. I didn't have anyone to call. Okay. If I had had a job at that time, they would have literally overwhelmed my job until I got fired, until I got canned. That's what they do, man. That's what they fucking do with this shit. They overwhelmed the university's PR lines, the president's office with calls demanding I be fired. The flood was so relentless that the head of campus security reached out to offer me an escort because they feared one of these keyboard soldiers might step out of his basement and come do me harm. And I am not unique. Okay, Kirk's watch list has terrorized legions of professors across this country. Libs of TikTok ask any teacher that has protected LGBTQ rights around the country. We saw him do it with Park Rose here in Portland. I've seen him try and do it in Oregon. We have pretty good schools that shut that shit down, but man, Libs of TikTok does this shit all over the country with teachers. They take a teacher out of context off TikTok and they fucking send in the hit squad, man. It's their MO. They are brutal, okay? They're hideous. They're degenerates. They are. They're fucking degenerates. Student athletes, yeah. You're a trans athlete and they're going to try to fucking shut your whole school down, okay? All right. So some received death threats. Oh, all right, here we go. Kirk's watch list has terrorized legions of professors across this country. Women, black faculty, queer scholars, basically anyone who challenged white supremacy, gun culture, or Christian nationalism suddenly found themselves targets of coordinated abuse. Some received death threats. Some had their jobs threatened. Some left academia entirely. Kirk sent the loud message to us, speak the truth, and we will unleash the mob. And believe me, they talk about a woke mob, but man, they are a mob. All right, that is the culture of violence Charlie Kirk built. He normalized violence. He curated it. He monetized it. He sicked it on anyone who dared to puncture his movement's lies. And again, guys, what does some of this shit look like? What it looks like is this, okay? It looks like a fucking greater expression of this tweet that I've been parroting, which is this, okay? Where, right, it's this kind of shit where he says in this tweet, which was 2 days before he died, he said, Islam is the sword of the left is using to slit the throat of America. So his declaration is that the left is slitting the throat of America. That's execution. That's saying the left are like terrorists. They're murderers. They're killers. They're trying to end the whole fucking country, right? Dude, that's so violent, right? And then he's tying it in with Islam. And he's trying to tie that together through the programmed Islamophobia of, Islam equaling terrorists. The left is terrorists, throat slitting. Dude, think about this. This is absolutely demented, depraved, absolute violence. Violence, right? All right. Are we back, guys? Yeah, we're back. All right. Sorry about that. Dude, they're probably trying to shut me down, guys. But we will carry on. We keep going. We keep going. My OBS keeps kicking me off. I don't care. We go again. We're not shutting down. They're not going to get me silent. But so what I was saying, guys, is that this video, we watched it yesterday, right? But this video, guys, is like depraved with the animosity towards the LGBTQ community and using wokeism and Marxism and tying it to Islamism, as he says. But dude, Kirk preached violence, violent rhetoric, absolute, like, you know what I'm saying? Violent. This shit is nasty. And then they directed that mob at everybody. And guys, thank you for sticking in. If it ever goes down, it will come back up. I'm not going anywhere. They will not silence me. Okay? We're going to get to this. But now she goes, you ready? Here. So she says, that is the culture of violence Charlie Kirk built. He normalized violence. He curated it, monetized it, and sicked it on anyone who dared to puncture his movement's lies. And now, in the wake of his shooting, there's all this national outpouring of mourning, moments of silence, yellow prayer hands, and tributes painting him as a civil debater. He was not. But the truth is that Kirk and his foot soldiers spent years terrorizing educators, trying to silence us with harassment and fear, while simultaneously grooming young people through that same fear and violence, grooming people to participate in that violent fucking we're tough guys mentality, or to be afraid of violence themselves and to glom onto the Trumpist movement. And now the same violence he unleashed on others has come full circle. I mean, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? That he spent years building this violence machine, and in the end, it just fucking savaged him, bro. Like, publicly. Like, wow. I mean, it's frightening, really. But I guess, you know, like, that's the end result of that. You know, yeah, the energy you put out there for years building this machine of violence, eventually it bites back, you know? I mean, brutal. Okay. And what she says, though, is, but what I find especially jarring is the dissonance in public mourning for a smug white man whose life work was actively hostile to certain groups. Kirk spent years demonizing LGBTQ people, mocking gun survivors, spewing racism about black folks, and pushing policies that literally shortened lives. It is so revolting to watch a bipartisan wave of grief sweep over this hateful racist as if he was a neutral community servant. He was not. He was a despicable human being, and I'm not grieving at all. You know what I'm saying? I will denounce political violence because I don't think it solves anything, and I don't want to fucking suffer political violence, and I believe political violence is wrong, but I will not grieve Charlie Kirk at all. Not at all. Not one iota. Okay, not one iota. In fact, I feel like, if anything, I want to try and help the earth heal now that it's over, now that that chapter is gone. And now we have to work on dismantling what's left of TPUSA and their network and making sure we never let them become honed like they are. We need to get them off college campuses. We need to revolt against their bullshit, okay? Because, again, they lost their charismatic leader. They don't have anyone to fulfill his shoes. And we need to dismantle the machine, okay? We need to fucking put the final fucking nails into those, like, you know what I'm saying? The final nails into those boards to fucking seal that thing off, okay? Because he's not a good human being, man. He was destructive and deceitful and harmful and toxic, and he spread violence, and we need to fucking, you know? And she has another thing here, okay? This is what she put. This is on her Substack. Her name is Stacy Patton. If you want to see her, Dr. Stacy Patton. It says, Charlie Kirk called gun deaths the price of freedom, and then he paid for it. And you see it's got a gun firing, and it's got a bullet firing that says, return to sender. What an image that is, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at that image. A gun firing a bullet that says return to sender. It's a powerful image, guys. It's a powerful fucking image. Right? Right? But make no mistake that the violent machine that killed Charlie Kirk, he built that machine. He honed that machine. He created it. Okay? He honed it. He fucking polished it. He fueled it with anti-LGBTQ, anti-woman, anti-trans, racist rhetoric. They dumped it in there, fueled with Trumpism and fucking Stephen Miller fucking rhetoric. They fueled it. They filled it up every day, man. And they went out there like predators on college campuses, hunting kids, to groom them and indoctrinate them and trying to be cool, trying to fucking, tell the people that, like, use fear. Scott Pressler, the guy who's out, like, getting voters, is doing the same thing. They go out to fairs and they find vulnerable, like, rural kids at country fairs and county fairs, and they tell them that, like, the Democrats are going to cut your dick off and scary shit like that they're going to fucking take your siblings and they're going to change their gender and shit. They literally scare them with fucking propaganda, man. And they sell them on this fucking hatred, dude. It's so gross, dude. They're gross. They are propagandists, they're liars, and they're groomers of the first degree using religion to do it. Okay, so here she writes this. She says, Charlie Kirk, a staunch Christian conservative, once dismissed the slaughter of strangers as a tragic but necessary price of freedom. I think it's worth it, he said, to have, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment and protect our God-given rights. Those words dripped with the smugness of someone who believed he'd never be among the casualties. For men like Kirk, death is for the anonymous, the expendable, the statistics. It is a chilling casual calculus. Some people must die, faceless, nameless, and conveniently out of sight so the myth of American gun liberty can march on untouched. Now Charlie Kirk himself has become the cost. And again, I believe he was a sacrificial lamb laid up on the altar of the MAGA movement by much powerful forces that want to prevent that Epstein list from coming out and that want to not have any chance of a defection, okay, in their rigid regime, okay? And Charlie Kirk was like, he was getting a little big for his britches. He was told to stand down on Epstein, and he was not doing it. He was still talking about it. On a September afternoon in the red state of Utah, a bullet found his neck during a TPUSA event. Suddenly, the man who shrugged off other people's blood as patriotic inevitability bled out for his own cause. In the final minutes before that shot rang out, he was answering a student's question about transgender shooters. When asked how many there had been in the past decade, which is like 4, Kirk sneered, "Too many," to cheers from the crowd. He had just doubled down on the fiction that trans people are a unique danger when statistically the overwhelming majority of America's mass shooters are straight white men. 100%. 100%. And they're well higher than the amount of, like, if you look at the amount of the population that white men are, right, straight white men are versus the number that are the mass shooters, a way higher percentage, okay, statistically than they occupy. Okay? So the cruel symmetry is this. And if you'll remember, the last question was a shot at black people and this coded language of gang violence being black on black violence, right? Was when they asked how many mass shooters there were. And he said, "Oh, you mean not counting gang violence?" And then boom, he was dead. So the cruel symmetry is this. Though the investigation is ongoing, it is far more likely that Kirk was shot not by the marginalized community he vilified, but by someone who looked like his base, his audience, his voters, someone like him, a straight white man. And in fact, it's highly likely it was someone that was working for the very people that funded him, right? The very profile responsible for the overwhelming bulk of America's gun carnage. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words, but history and statistics rarely are. In the hours after the shooting, you could already see the machine Kirk built cranking into motion, polishing the story, inflating the meaning, and turning him into a victim saint of gun culture. Just a few months ago, a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband were murdered in their home by a right-wing Christian posing as a police officer. That killing was treated as a local tragedy, quickly absorbed by the news cycle. President Trump refused to call the governor. He didn't mourn for them. He never said anything publicly. He didn't put the flags at half-staff. Trump did nothing. Okay, contrast that with Kirk, the poster boy of MAGA ideology, and you can already see the difference. His shooting is being elevated into myth. spun into martyrdom, polished into propaganda. The headlines already read like scripture. Charlie Kirk shot during campus event. His name will be etched into speeches about God-given rights as though a bullet baptized him into a pantheon of conservative heroes. They're trying to put him in the fucking National Mall, and you have JD Vance jerking it on the fucking casket. You know what I mean? With his hand on there, everybody's playing this up. Trump is talking about this. Trump's AI video was talking about it. Like, come on, bro. All right. Conservatives rushed to crown him a martyr, a sacrificial lamb. Ooh, the double meaning there of the Second Amendment. Proof that even the most loyal zealots are under siege. House Speaker Mike Johnson led a moment of silence and prayer for Kirk in the House. So did the New York Yankees. Ick. Fuck the Yankees, bro. Dude, I have a Yankees hat. I'm going to burn that shit. Fuck the Yankees, dude. They have aligned with the devil now, dude. They're done, bro. That team is cursed now. All right, former presidents, senators, and preachers tweeted out prayers. His name was folded into the script of American gun mythology. And in the flood of reaction posts, some painted him as a man always willing to sit down for a civil debate. No, conveniently forgetting that his rhetoric was never civil. Tate Reeves, governor of Mississippi, wrote on X, this is on Twitter, this is truly a dark day for America. Charlie Kirk led discussions debating in good faith with his political opponents. He was a perfect example of what civil political engagement should look like. He was not, guys. He was a despicable preacher of violence and hatred and misogyny and xenophobia and transphobia and homophobia. And he spewed this shit. And he terrorized people, and he had hit lists, and he incited a mob to chase and bully and harass and overwhelm. And then he would sit at debates and pretend like a civil guy, but he was always in a crowd of like thousands of bros that would be the very people he would weaponize against you. And you had to be careful what you said there because you might get harassed. Okay. He attracted a lot of people who blew sunshine up his ass because people were worried about getting beaten to death from his crowd. Okay. He was fucking despicable. Okay. But Kirk's rhetoric was always violent, demeaning, and designed to radicalize. Okay. And Tate and others claim that the left decided the assassination and violence is their response to debate. Okay. A premature spin given the shooter is still at large. There's been no arrest, no confirmed suspect, no known motive. That tells you something important. The rush to blame is narrative building. Before evidence exists, the story is already being written to fold Kirk into the martyr myth of conservative victimhood. Okay. It's projection and deflection. Statistically, the vast majority of mass shooters in America are white men, many aligned with right-wing ideologies, most aligned with right-wing ideologies. But acknowledging that would undercut the culture war talking points, so the blame gets preemptively shifted onto progressives. And it's part of a longer pattern. From January 6th to political assassinations to everyday gun massacres, the right often reframes violence as left-wing aggression, regardless of who actually pulled the trigger. The narrative matters more than the truth. The reality is, guys, is 90% of this violence is right-wing violence. Always. Always. If you look at the numbers, it's staggering. But their narrative is that the radical left is so violent. But, dude, it's bullshit. In addition to the propaganda machine, what's truly revolting isn't just that Charlie Kirk is being canonized. It's who's doing the canonizing and what it says about this country. The story they're telling is a lie dressed up as virtue. The dominant media narrative is pushing the tired, hollow chorus. There's no place for political violence in America, as if centuries of racism, lynchings, assassinations, coups, and insurrections aren't already the bedrock of American politics. Political violence is literally the foundational it's like the foundational element of America, right? From the genocide of the natives to the spiritual genocide of black people through chattel slavery, right up through Jim Crow and lynchings and redlining and segregation, right? Dehumanization of women, lack of women's rights, right through rape culture and right on in, all fueled by Christianity, okay? And now it is this fucking, attempt to frame transgender people as the enemy. They're trying to take away guns from transgender people. Same shit they did when they had gun control for Black Panthers, man, in the 60s. They take a target group and they fucking go after them, right? But this isn't martyrdom, it's feedback. Martyrs die for higher ideals like justice, truth, freedom from tyranny. They face the gallows because they refuse to betray their conscience, or the firing squad because they stood on the side of liberation, trying to get Black women their rights, trying to fight for transgender people to have rights. If you're fighting to take away rights, you are not a liberator, okay? You are an oppressor, okay? Charlie Kirk is not that. He's a man who made a fortune off stoking fear, turning young white people into foot soldiers of white grievance, and building a political brand where violence is an acceptable byproduct of freedom. He didn't give his life for justice. He didn't fall for truth. He got caught in the crossfire of the very culture he championed. And I think he may have gotten caught in the crossfire of the very people who funded his organization. This is what happens when you normalize violence as liberty, when you recast school shootings as ideological props, like when Kirk's platforms amplified false anti-trans conspiracy spins instead of focusing on victims. Right? And this is always, right? Madison, Wisconsin, Libs of TikTok was posting how it was fucking transgender. They've been trying to trans every shooter to the point of where now there's just fake fucking graphics that spread on Twitter through Elon's bot accounts that identify the last 8 shooters or whatever as trans. And it's all fucking based on lies, man. The shit is relentless, okay? And when you dismiss trauma, weaponize identities, and body counts become political fodder, sooner or later that circle of blood closes in on you. And we go back to this original graphic of the bullet that goes return to sender. I mean, she's a great writer. She really is. And let's keep it 100. The circle usually closes on the vulnerable first. Okay? Black and brown neighborhoods where police are more likely to shoot than protect. Women stalked by abusers armed with easily purchased firearms. Often guys with DV arrests. Children who find pistols in their parents' nightstands. Whole classroom shattered by a single AR-15 while all the cops stand out in the hallway like Uvalde. America's gun death toll is not spread evenly. It's structured, racialized, predictable. Charlie Kirk wasn't worried about those deaths. He accepted them, justified them, rationalized them until one of those acceptable bullets came for him. But don't expect honesty in how this story is told. Expect spectacle. Expect talking heads to insist his shooting proves why more guns are necessary, not fewer. Or that, he was a victim of political violence instead of its chief purveyor and chief fucking proselytizer. And if his supporters are determined to enshrine him, let's be clear about what they're sanctifying. The casual acceptance of slaughter, not courage, not sacrifice, not justice, but the endless recycling of bodies for profit, politics, and power. And here's where the irony sharpens. Charlie Kirk wasn't just an arrogant white supremacist Christian foot soldier in America's gun cult. He was a salesman. He toured campuses, conferences, and churches, grooming young conservatives to believe that blood is the price of liberty. He taught them to sneer at grieving mothers and call their cries for gun reform emotional manipulation. He taught them that a nation drowning in bullets was still the greatest place on earth because anything less than absolute access to firearms would be tyranny. Now the salesman has become the product. His body is the billboard. Had he survived, he would have stood on stage with a scar and called it proof of his convictions. But he's dead now, and his supporters will taxidermy his image into the pantheon of right-wing saints. Either way, the lie will keep selling. But let me just tell you, man, he's not a saint, dude. Right? He's not. He was a toxic stain on humanity. Okay? That's the genius and the horror of America's gun mythology. can turn any corpse into propaganda. But what if we refuse that? What if we strip the sanctimony away and said out loud what this really is? Just another casualty in a country so addicted to firearms that even its most loyal apostles can't escape the carnage, because if Charlie Kirk's story becomes martyrdom, then every child gunned down in a school was a martyr too. Every accident, every stray bullet ripping through drywall, but we don't call them martyrs. We call them statistics. We tell their families to move on. We bury them in silence. We send thoughts and prayers. That's the moral rot here. Not just that Kirk is being elevated, but that millions of others never will be. His blood is politicized. Their blood is erased. His wound is a symbol. Their wounds are collateral damage. He will be remembered. They are all forgotten. Not if I have anything to do with it. I'm going to make sure Charlie Kirk gets remembered for the toxic stain on humanity that he was. And I'm going to fucking keep doing that. And I'm going to be relentless on that, tied in with the Epstein shit too. Okay? Charlie Kirk is the logical conclusion of the very ideology he preached. A nation where bullets are background noise, where lives are expendable, where freedom is measured in body bags. His story doesn't redeem gun culture, it exposes it. Be very clear, this is not a celebration of murder. I'm not cheering this man's death, neither am I. I am against political violence. I am against the shooting of even those toxic stains of humanity. We should out them instead and reverse the power they try to exercise over young people. Okay, what I'm doing is indicting the culture Charlie Kirk helped build. A culture that normalizes gun deaths as the price of freedom, that decides whose lives are grievable and whose are disposable, and that inevitably consumes even its own apostles. And if we have any collective sanity left, this moment should be remembered not as holy sacrifice, but as a warning, a flashing red sign that says, this is the America you built. This is the America you defend. And if you keep worshiping at the altar of the gun, then one day your own prophets will bleed at it too. If this piece spoke to you and you want this fire to keep going, I invite you to become a paid subscriber. So there we go. I'm going to give you a link to this if you want to subscribe and fucking get in there. Let me find a link to her thing. Or even if you just want to, right? Even if you just want to not be a paid subscriber, but just be a supporter. There it is. Right? But that's Stacy Patton. And that was a good article. Okay? You found her on Blue Sky? Yeah, follow her. Find her. Okay? The thing about this, the thing to remember here, guys, is that Charlie Kirk had many victims, and most of them were women or queer women or black women or, right? It's like you don't hear about their victims, though, because they're the ones getting hounded out of a job, committing suicide, getting forced into the corners of society where they don't get fucking, they don't get like promoted. They don't get put out there. You know what I mean? They don't get the voice. Nobody gives them voice, Dude, I have some Taco Bell here I'm going to take a bite of, because there's one more thing we have to cover real quick before I go. Dana, let's go. I'm going to dance, though. I'm going to eat some burrito, and then I'm dancing, and then we have one more thing to cover.
Blues, let's get on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise, let's get on you. You found out that nobody is perfect, and you doubt that anything is worth it. Look around, the world is a circus. You're on blue. So provoking.
Living the life. Yeah, I'm doing my best, man. Fucking have an impact.
and you're on blue. Who knows you're on blue?
Because I do have a superpower, guys. I don't know how I got it. I don't know if it's from growing up in a really toxic family or what, but if I have a superpower, it's like I have, as part of my creative output, I have a antenna that I put out into the collective energy that we all share. And that's where my creative energy comes from. As a musician, that's where I got the inspiration to write songs, right? And I can absorb like so much negative energy. Like I can take in like unbelievable amounts of pain and negativity, and I run it through me, and I can like sort of channel it into like hope and humor and like inspiration, right? And I don't know how I do it. I think it's a skill I learned surviving the incredibly toxic family that I was born into. You know, I mean, we all have fucking superpowers. That's mine, man. As is like, it feels like it's gonna overwhelm me, but it just doesn't. But we're in it together, guys. We're in it. Man, I don't want any more political violence, guys. I don't. Like, I don't want any more violence. But we do have to take a stand. You know? Dude, Trump is on his way out, guys. Dude, he is. Look at this fucker, dude. He is stroked out, dude. Look at his fucking face, boss. You know what I mean? Dude, we don't need to use violence on this fucker. This guy is stroked out. Seriously, look at him, dude. He is, dude, his health, he is degenerating fast, bro. I'm telling you, I told you he's not going to live through this term. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he makes it to the 2026 election. None of us, dude, I would never cheer the death of Charlie Kirk. I would never wish anything like what happened to him on anyone. And it was horrific and traumatizing to watch, but I refuse to mourn him. Okay. I will not mourn him because, like I said, he was a toxic stain on humanity. And I think his chapter closing is going to be like, I feel like humanity's breathing a sigh of relief that chapter's closing, but we do have to dismantle the rest of the fucking TPUSA machine. Make no mistake about it. And this is not the AI clip. This is Trump today fucking right? This is Trump today. That was Getty Images. This is from Getty Images. Okay? This is him today at the 9/11 fucking event, dude. He is stroked. Look at Melania, dude. She's a degenerate too. They're both Epstein involved. I mean, you know, I kind of wish there was a God because they would both be burning in hell. But dude, I don't think he makes it to the 2026 election, bro. But you ready? You ready? We got our dance party real quick, and then we're going to finish up. All right? Get limber, baby. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's our favorite artist from Sweden, Stefan Karlin, baby, with a little deja vu. Here it comes, boss. Here it comes. Dude, that was a spirited one, guys.
I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking.
You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand. I finally found myself.
My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Baby, radiate in my world.
Radiate, yeah. Woo.
I'm gonna
it's about you.
I would never be alone
Again, I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Ooh. I can sing? Yeah. Dude, this is me singing in the song. That's me. That was me and my band Number 3 Breakdown, actually, from 2003. We were pretty popular here in Portland. We were a 2-piece band. This is one of the shirts, right? Dude, let's go, 𝗙ecie. Yes. And then I also played some songs from another band of mine from 1998 called Full Blown Red. And then there's a couple songs that are from 1997 from my band Soul Driver. And then there's a couple of songs that are from a early incarnation of my one-man project called The Wanteds, which a synth pop EP from like late 2003. And if you go in the description, there's links to Apple Music and Spotify, where I have a couple records from The Wanteds, which was the one-man indie rock band I used to tour the U.S. in like 2004, 2005. Right? I do have a nice little digital delay that I use here on the fucking the Go XLR. I like a little bit of delay. It's fun. All right. We have one more thing to cover. All right. So we can watch a minute of the video of these guys. Right. But dude, here he is. This is Trump.
Hilda E. Taylor.
Dude, look at him, dude.
Lieutenant Colonel Kip P. Taylor, United States Army.
Dude, doesn't he look like he's sitting in front of a fucking green screen? Dude, he is lost, stroked out.
Sandra C. Taylor.
Just absolutely. Dude, like Emma said, looking good.
Sandra D. T.
Dude. I have a bell of my own. There it is. Oh, yeah. And we have another one for Trumpy. Your favorite song, Trumpy. Fuck you, Trumpy. Oh, where's my neck? Oh. Dude, he needs somebody to pound sand up his ass is what he needs. All right. So the last thing we're going to cover today, guys, this is our last thing, and I think this is pretty important, but dude, there was a release, a Bloomberg report about a trove of Epstein emails. Did you guys see this? This is big, guys. This is a big, big fucking deal. Okay? There was a trove of Epstein's personal emails from 2002 to 2022 that were released. 2 decades worth of emails reportedly belonged to Jeffrey Epstein, shine a light on the late sex offender's relationship with accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, and raise new questions about his relationships with Donald Trump and other well-connected political figures. Okay, Bloomberg News reported that it unearthed emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account. They got his Yahoo, baby. Okay, from 2002 to 2022, 3 years after he died in jail. The emails haven't been independently verified by MSNBC or NBC News. While there's no smoking guns that expose potential accomplices, Bloomberg certainly seems to have revealed creepy emails from a lecherous man. For example, one moment Epstein is musing about the genetics of beauty with a respected neuroscientist, or showing praise on the women in his life. You are the most important person to me, he wrote to one of his assistants, Nadia Marcinkova. whose lawyer has said she was a victim of Epstein's sexual abuse. The next, he is berating the same woman in a 425-word diatribe for her reluctance to dance, work out, engage in fun sex things, and manage his stress. You should be ashamed of yourself. Or registering displeasure after receiving a photograph of a 21-year-old woman from one of his female contacts asking, "What do you think?" And he said, "Fat and Asian, sorry," he replied. It's pretty gross, right? Other emails reflect the intimate relationship between Epstein and Maxwell, including more than 200 sent in 2008, the year Epstein was sentenced to prison for procuring a minor for prostitution and soliciting a prostitute. The report even cites a few emails that refer to Trump, including one in which Epstein tells Maxwell to remove Trump's name from a list of more than 50 politicians and business leaders. Bloomberg said it couldn't determine the list's purpose. So they had this list of like elite figures, and he was trying to remove the name. Okay, Epstein wanted to like take Trump's name off of this list. All right. And another email from Maxwell to Epstein in 2007 includes Trump among the people whom an unknown they might approach for some reason. An allusion, the outlet says, may have been related to a team of reporters. The White House tried to downplay the report, telling Bloomberg this is just more stupid fake news playing into the hands of the Democrat hoax, trying to link President Trump and Epstein. Because, of course, 20 years of emails, gotta be a hoax, right? 1,000 victims, gotta be a hoax. Trump's name all over this shit to the point of where it looks like the Trump family circus, gotta be a hoax. The president's efforts to deny or downplay his years-long ties to Epstein have gotten particularly absurd this week after the House Oversight Committee released a body note addressed to Epstein that purportedly bears Trump's signature. The president denies writing the note and says the signature isn't his. And this new report from Bloomberg doesn't exactly put the Epstein issue to bed either. Okay, so let's see if we can get into the actual report. Oh, we can. We got it. All right. So it's called Epstein's Inbox. Dude, look at this. A trove of emails reveals Ghislaine Maxwell's secrets. Okay, this just came out today. Again, guys, I don't care about the Charlie Kirk thing. I'm basically, after tonight, I'm pretty much done talking about him except pointing out his toxicity. Okay? That's it. Other than pointing out his toxicity, I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk anymore. I've moved on. We're getting back to Epstein. We are staying on Epstein. Full bore. Okay? Full bore, dude. We're full bore until these MFers are brought to justice. For years, Ghislaine Maxwell has tried to distance herself from Epstein, the disgraced financier, blah, 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 an effort that continued through her criminal conviction and in a recent interview with federal law enforcement officials, a.k.a. Trump's personal lawyer, Todd Blanche. Okay, according to her telling, she was a one-time girlfriend turned property manager of his luxury homes around the world, yet was not privy to the inner workings of the vast influence machine or sex trafficking operation, which we know is BS because many of the victims have said she was even involved in the abuse. Okay, but hundreds of emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account, which haven't been previously reported, shed new light on Maxwell's partnership with Epstein. They also contribute to longstanding questions about her credibility, including her truthfulness in a 2-day interview she had with officials from the Justice Department. That was the Todd Blanche BS, like perjury interview, if you will. The emails are part of a cache of more than 18,000 obtained by Bloomberg News, show that Maxwell and Epstein were closer in many respects than either publicly admitted. Maxwell opened at least one foreign bank account using one of his addresses, was a named director on one of Epstein's many revenue-generating companies, and traded stock, right? And traded stock in a company they were both invested in. Details that haven't been previously reported. So, man, dude, they were interlocked, okay? They were interlocked. Do I know the 𝗙cie𝗶𝗆? I don't know who that is, right? I don't know who they are. Yeah, no. Why do I know them? Oh, is somebody talking about like, is somebody going off on a Jesus thing or what? Right? Good. No Jesus around here, boss. This is a Jesus-free zone, just so you know. All right? Just so you know. Right? Just so you know, no Jesus-free, boss. Right? All right. Good. So, let's see. The pair discussed undergoing a shared fertility procedure. Dude, that's crazy, right? The pair discussed undergoing a shared fertility fucking procedure, right? They were going to have a kid, bro. Like fertilized, right? Oh my God. Long after Maxwell's claims, she largely dissociated from him. If you want to be, if you are interested in being a mod, ping me in Discord and let me know. All right, we can definitely talk about it. They corresponded about discrediting women who raised allegations against them. You see that? Look at that shit. They corresponded about discrediting women that raised allegations against them. So they were corresponding about how to discredit survivors, including in one exchange where Maxwell said she planned to circulate compromising information on one of Epstein's abuse victims. Dude, that is positively disgusting. Okay? The emails include a spreadsheet itemizing nearly 2,000 gifts, luxury items, and payments totaling $1.8 million, with notations indicating they were intended for Epstein's friends, business associates, and victims. The spreadsheet, which was created by one of Epstein's accountants, includes a $35,000 watch earmarked for Clinton aid, a former Clinton aide, a $71,000 purchase at a Lexus dealership for one of Epstein's lawyers, and other items such as lingerie, chocolates, some for teenage girls who later lodged sex abuse complaints against Epstein and Maxwell. The spreadsheet indicates that Maxwell helped Epstein arrange many of the items. It doesn't specify whether the intended recipients were ever offered or actually accepted the gifts. Jesus, dude. Maxwell has maintained she was kept in the dark about details of his initial abuse case in the mid-2000s, yet the emails demonstrate her deep knowledge of the legal jeopardy he faced and show how she helped him strategize over even the most consequential details, which means Ghislaine Maxwell's lying all over her fucking bullshit deposition with Blanche, which we knew. We know she's a liar. She was committing perjury in the civil suit with, Virginia Giuffre brought against her for defamation in 2016. They've caught her before. She's a convicted felon, a degenerate liar, and she is an abuser. Question, Epstein wrote to Maxwell on May 23rd, 2008. Which do you prefer, lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution? At the time, he and his star-studded team of defense lawyers, including Alan Dershowitz, right, were closing in on a generous plea deal with federal and state officials in Florida, and Epstein was trying to negotiate the state charges to which he'd plead guilty. Maxwell's response was matter of fact. I suppose lewd and lascivious. I would prefer conduct with lewd and lascivious conduct without a prostitute. With a prostitute, if possible. Oh, I guess. Okay. With a prostitute, I guess that's what that means. I suppose lewd and lascivious, right? A month later, Epstein pleaded guilty to 2 Florida state charges, felony solicitation of prostitution and procurement of minors, and to engage, and he also, and procurement of minors to engage in prostitution. He also registered as a sex offender. Maxwell's attorney, David Marcus, did not respond to questions about his client's email correspondence with Epstein, her facilitation of gifts and cash, and some of the contradictions between her email exchanges with Epstein and her recent statements to the DOJ. Over 2 decades, Epstein's life story is spilled out, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let me see if I can get into this thing. Let me see if I can hack in here real quick. Yeah, I think I got it. All right. All right, so Epstein's inbox, which contains messages from 2002 to 2022, but is most active between 05 and 08, provides an entirely different vantage point. It's a window into the life, mind, and relationships of a serial abuser whose impact on U.S. politics has only grown in the 6 years since he was found dead. Riddled with typos, unfinished thoughts, and missing punctuation, the emails are hardly the final word. They do not provide complete answers for some of the most persistent questions. How he amassed his fortune. There's no evidence that prominent figures were abusing minors. There are indications that many of the emails were deleted. Also, Yahoo account is one of multiple email accounts he used for different purposes. So we don't know, right? We don't know. Obviously, I'm sure he had special accounts that he used just for certain things. Absolutely. But see, nevertheless, this trove contains revelatory, often disturbing details about the intricate facets of Epstein's life. It offers new insight into how he leverages wealth and powerful social network, which stretch from Wall Street to Washington to Westminster, to beat back grave criminal accusations. And it showcases his idiosyncrasies, his indignation as he's being investigated, and his callousness towards the young women, many of them teenagers, who entered his world. One moment he's musing about the genetics of beauty. Next minute he's saying, praising a woman, right? We read this earlier, praising people like 𝗙𝗙𝗾𝗏. And then he's going on a diatribe about how awful she is because she's not pleasing him in the right way. Which, guys, it's a hallmark of abusers. Abusers, they do a push-pull, right? Where they're constantly either in a state of like reeling the woman in and wooing her and taking care of her and feeding her lies and promises, or they're like abusing her and berating her and breaking her down. And what they do is they break them down, and then the minute they detect they're going to lose them, they start wooing them and turning on that charm and that like pull, that magnetism. And then once they get them back in and they're feeling safe, then they start breaking them down again. And it is absolutely a form of psychological warfare, and they're just really good at it. And there's other things that are going on, which is they have an innate sense of finding the women that are in tough financial situations, or they're struggling with some type of particular trauma, and they just know how to massage it right. They're like so... You know what I'm saying? They're so fucking, like, they have a sense for it, okay? Details of his life, by turns mundane and chilling, emerge from the cache. All right, he purchased more than 600 items on Amazon, including an FBI agent costume, teeth whitener, a leather bullwhip, a pair of size 12 Crocs, a prostate massager, ooh, yummy, girls' school uniforms, and a box of Nabisco Nilla mini wafers. He's pounding the mini wafers, bro, the Nilla wafers. Yuck. All right, except for 3 minor instances, dude, you like how they downplay that? Except for 3 minor instances, the emails do not mention Donald Trump. They downplayed except for 3 minor instances. Or let's look at the reverse of that. They 3 times they mentioned Donald Trump. Shockingly, right? Because supposedly they had fucking... right? They like hated each other. Okay. Maxwell told Todd Blanche that she never saw Trump act inappropriately. Of course she told him that, right? Trump was also always very cordial, but we know Maxwell's a liar. We know she's committing perjury, so we're not going to believe what she says. She knows it's just BS. Okay. Trump has told reporters that while he's allowed to pardon Maxwell, now would be inappropriate. Epstein and Maxwell exchanged at least 650 emails in all. All right. They range from how to move a 40-pound tortoise to and from Epstein's private Caribbean island to the filing of an insurance claim for a crystal chandelier to her travel to exotic places. Several show how Maxwell nurtured Epstein's ties with political figures, celebrities, and tech billionaires by offering to visit the island or a seat aboard his jet. Maxwell has said her work for Epstein lessened considerably after around 2003. In her interview with Blanche, she described her role in his life as very, very diminished by the time he went to jail. Yet the analysis of the email showed the pair exchanged at least 203 messages in the first 6 months of 2008 at a rate of more than 1 a day. About a month before he was to begin serving his jail sentence, Maxwell took pains to comfort and protect him as his life was collapsing. I'm devastated. I can't even process. I know this does not help, so I'll stop now. Lady Ghislaine. All right, we're going to pause right there. This is a huge article. I could probably go on for a bunch, but it's 2000. It's 2030. It's 2:30. I got to go make some videos. We're going to go through this. There's a lot more to this, guys. Look at this. If you look at this thing, look at how much we're through. We're through about a third of this fucking article. This is a bombshell. All right. We're going to make some videos about this. Dude, yeah. Well, so, Ron, what 𝗙𝗽𝗽𝗀𝗧 is, I know you say she's no lady, but the significance of the name 𝗙𝗽𝗽𝗀𝗧 is that was the name of her father's boat. Her father here, Robert Maxwell, he named his yacht, the one he died on, 𝗙𝗽𝗽𝗀𝗧, okay? That was the name of his yacht. He named it after his daughter. And that, of course, was the boat he was supposedly was peeing off the side of when he, like, fell off and just disappeared. Yeah, right? Right? Everybody associated with these people happens to just, like, accidentally hang themselves while on suicide watch in a jail cell, or they fall off a boat or what have you. Not really buying this. But that's the significance of 𝗙𝗽𝗽𝗀𝗧. It was his boat. All right? Crazy. Team Insomnia? What has Maxwell in it? Oh, the Tetris movie? Oh. Dude, why do you keep saying shit like that? Dude, I don't like the way you say that, dude. That fucking the tone you use, you keep saying she's related to Jews. Like, fuck off. Who cares? Who cares who she's related to? I was in a Jewish fraternity. Who fucking cares? Fucking Jewish people, like, yeah, I know. Gone. Dude, I'm tired of that language. I feel like I saw it before too. Like, later. Oh, come on, man. Get over the fucking weird preoccupation. Right? Yeah. What's going on, baby? Dude, yeah, we will root out all trolls. All right, I'm not worried about that. I was a gamer. I'm the master of troll removal. Dude, as a Fortnite streamer, I literally had to do it all the time. All right, but now, guys, we are, I gotta go. I gotta go make some videos. So I'm gonna be a short one. We're gonna get into edit mode here real quick. All right, I'm gonna get some music kicking in. And
can I make something good out of this? Can I make something good out of this? Chances are you will not.
dude, yeah, I'll have to get some more emotes rolling.
'Cause you don't give a shit.
Can I make something good out of this? All right, guys, it's been a great night. Thank you. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for taking this crazy journey with me. We are in it together, boss. And unfortunately, we got a long way to go. All right? I am the one you love to hate, but you cannot devastate. thank you, guys. I will see you tomorrow, because I want more. Good night.